live, and we're live. Okay, now we're live. We're getting good at this.
We got this.
Welcome to your first live show of the Batwoman podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Iley, and I'm here with my co-hosts,
Mimi.
And
Amanda.
And we have the season finale!
Yeah.
Yay! I know.
Okay. Yeah.
Didn't feel like one, but you know.
Yeah. It was some mixed feelings, I would say. You know, at least like last season they had an excuse for it not feeling like a season finale.
Yeah.
Not so much now, but you know.
So, like, I will say one thing that I've now noticed from watching more shows that were filmed during COVID. It's really funny when you start to notice the COVID setup.
Right.
Of, like, spacing, like, scene spacing. So it does explain a lot, but this finale is now, like they said in the lovely interviews from Caroline Dryers and others, that they were one of the first shows to go back. So, you know.
Caroline Dryers gave an interview, as well as Javisha and a few other people. So just like some news that's come out since. They did confirm that Jacob is leaving the show. So rip Jacob.
Yeah, we saw it coming. He was gonna be leaving at some, you know, like.
Is he just in jail? Like that's how we ended his.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm like. As much as I don't like Jacob, I'm not sure he deserves to be in jail.
I feel like they should have just given him like an epic death send-off or something if they were gonna write him off. I don't know.
Just like, I mean, Kate got to just like go travel. Like, just let him be with Kate. Like, that's what we wanted.
They could have both gone looking for Bruce together. It's his nephew, right? Kind of, sort of, like.
Yeah. I mean, I did not like Jacob, but I did wanted him to like go be happy elsewhere.
Yeah,
right.
Don't be happy here. Go be happy elsewhere.
Just get like an epic ending, even if he's not happy. You know, like
right. It was just very like, oh yeah, I guess he's in jail. Haha.
Right? Like, okay, no one really cares.
Basically. So.
Also, I just saw we have comments. So like, hey people.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi. Yo.
Yeah, that would be kind of sad if he dies in prison, but I wouldn't write it off. But Kate's also gone, which is basically what we thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
But also not in the way they did it. We had our theories, and I'm so sad. I wanted our theories to be right, and now.
Right.
I mean, like I like Sophie as a character, and I am glad that we still have her. But like, I would have been okay if they like rode off into the sunset together, because I would have wanted her and Kate to be happy, and I would be happy that they were doing that together. So like, I'm happy she's still here, but also I'm like, I would have, that would have been okay.
Honestly,
I mean, also, if Alice is going to be like imprisoned, I feel like she also could have rode off with Kate, and because it doesn't seem to me like we're really going to get a lot of like crazy Alice shenanigans going forward. So
right. Well, that's what in Caroline Dry's interview, she's like, we want to keep the Alice drama on the front burner. And I was like, do you know?
Like, how are they going to do that with her in prison? I guess she could break out, but I don't know.
I mean, I feel like they kind of like wrapped things up with her. So I'm just
like if they wanted to keep Sophie, which I don't blame them, they could have had Jacob and Alice wander off with Kate. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, and also just thinking about how funny it would have been if it was Kate, Alice, and Sophie going off the sunset with Jacob and like a side buggy. Like I'm just picturing them on the Batmobile or just a motorcycle, and just like Jacob awkwardly in the buggy, like, yep, I'm on a road trip with my daughters, all of them. This is weird.
Except
like,
Mary, of course, because poor Mary.
Poor Mary. Well, that's what, and the other thing was like, oh, Alice and Mary are like the last family members. And I'm like,
Also, I see we have questions. I don't think Ryan called the GCPD. I think because they were dummies and had all the cars over the like bridge, the GCPD, and also I think they were just generally supposed to be out and about because of the black mask scenario. That they just saw a bunch of abandoned cars and were like, WTF, and like happened to be like, oh, it's Alice of the Hatter Gang, and it's like, wow, you remembered her. Ooh.
Like she hasn't been walking around the city this entire season and nobody's even blinked.
Joe, when that happened, like, Joe hasn't really watched all the episodes, and he's like, so both Batwoman's, like, tried to capture her for 2 seasons, and then these, like, rando cops just came in and were like, there she is!
It's
Dragged her away.
I was like, don't you have something better to do? And I think it was Ryland tweeting, be like, well, they have to be realistic. I was like, yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah, fair.
That's fair.
I'd
We
be
had
surprised if he
a
dies in prison.
few other questions. Do you think there's any chance of Waller showing up on Supergirl?
I would like that. Will they?
I would like it, but I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, I don't. Did they finish filming? But I don't know.
Well, I don't think they're coming back to like August, so I don't think they're finished filming. But I don't know, because they didn't quite mention Wallace's Krypton character on Superman and Lois, but they like referenced her daughter with her maiden name. That was like the Krypton character's name. So I was like, what? But yeah. I don't know. I think that'd be cool. I would be down for it, but I don't particularly think it's something that they're going to do at the moment. But yeah.
I mean, it would be nice if they like kept Kate in the Arrowverse without having her be like a major player, like just having her kind of show up once in a while. Like, didn't find Bruce yet. Hi guys.
Yep. So, do you guys need some bat help? But like,
don't. Yep.
Like Wallace Day was really great, so I don't know. Would be nice.
She was. I appreciate her. I think she's great. So.
She grew on me the more when she actually got to be Kate. Like when we actually saw her as Kate, I was like, oh,
yeah,
this is what I was like.
Yeah. Yeah. No, New Rachel, you're right. They said Lara, but they said it. They said it with her maiden name, so they said Lara Lorvan, and I heard Lorvan, and I was like, what? No, okay. Because that was, yeah, she was Nissa Lorvan, I think. I watched Krypton, and I was kind of lost, honestly. It was interesting, though. It was interesting.
What else we got here?
Yeah.
Oh. I do agree with you, Jersey, about like Kate leaving Alice behind. Like that just hurts. That just
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to hear that.
It was upsetting. I mean, it was like super typical Arrowverse for them to be like, no, you can't have nice things, and as soon as you get Kate back, Alice has to go. Like that felt super typical Arrowverse to me. So
I feel like they went back so hard on the characterization, though. Like, one minute they're like, look how much Alice has grown, and the next minute she's like, well, I can't fix her if she doesn't want to be fixed. And it's like, I don't know. It seems like headed in that direction.
It's just...
I mean, typically Arrowverse,
it's unfortunate. Right? Yeah. It's unfortunate because I think we've all acknowledged that, like, as much crap as Alice has done, we still want her to be the redeemable villain, and her just getting sent to prison does not feel like that.
No.
So it's just frustrating. And yes, New Rachel, Mary can be Flamebird. Mary better be Flamebird.
Yeah.
Would be nice.
Season 3.
Fingers crossed.
Also, thank you, Mark. Would you rather see Luke, Mary pair off, or Luke and Steph?
Luke and Mary forever.
Yeah, like I love me Luke and Mary, but also I don't. Steph and Luke aren't my like ship. You know, so it's like I did think they were absolutely adorable in the episode, but my brain like is like, no, that's not right. I'm that nerd of like, hey, wait, no, yes, you're adorable, and I'm very happy for the nerds. I would love Steph to be in the Bat Fam.
Yes,
that would be very nice.
I would love that.
I want that sass. Plus, it would be cute because then Luke will get teased by Steph about like, "Hey, remember the time I kissed you?" And he'd be like, "Shut up, Mary." You're like, I want that. Like, shut up.
Also, I feel like there was an article, I was going to send it to you guys. I didn't read the whole thing, but I think Carolyn Dries did another interview where she was saying like, Luke and Mary are meant to be together. And I was like, yes, do something right.
We agree.
Very excited.
Yes, we must. Yeah, great.
If we need a token hetero ship, that's. You know,
right? Like, that's what we need.
Yes.
Not ocean. No ocean.
I mean, we've literally been saying that since the beginning.
So. Yeah.
In the chat, though, we said, I felt like Tavarov's defeat was underwhelming. And I think there were a lot of underwhelming parts of this episode.
Yeah. That's definitely one of them.
Tavarov's defeat being one of them. Black Mask's defeat being one of them. I will say, I don't think any, like, Arrowverse Big Bad has had such an underwhelming defeat of being sprayed in the face by Joker's flower and then having the mask stuck to your face and then you're in prison.
Yeah,
it's a way to go, I guess.
I mean, that was just like, be like, oh, well, they're all gonna love me because I won't be Black Mask. Oh, I guess the mask is stuck to your face now.
yeah, what? My favorite thing about that scene, though, was just the way it was done of her just like, it was a good villain, the Joker. And then he was like, oh, it's stuck on my face. And I just was like, you didn't try to take it off. You were just like, as you like,
my face.
Press it down harder,
Yeah, like, if it wasn't stuck, it is now.
I don't even know what Tavaroff, Luke, decked him, and then
they
he was
were,
done.
Fighting, but he didn't even seem like himself. Like, he was super jacked up. It reminded me of, vampires or zombies. Like, he seemed mindless by the time Luke defeated him.
Yeah.
There was no emotion to it. It was just like, oh, good, he's gone, finally.
Yeah, right. I mean,
he was adorably buff, and in that, he looked like he went from, I'm a buff man to, I'm in a padded suit, look at me,
I think he kind of looked like he got stung by a bee, and he's, allergic.
Yes.
I thought it was interesting that that's how they tied in, the snake bite thing, and be like, oh, well, that'll work for Kate's memories? Yeah. That was super random, but I was like, okay,
yeah,
sure.
Why not?
Why not? It would be interesting if he comes back as Luke's villain next season. That would be cool. But I don't know. We'll see.
If they let him leave in an anticlimactic way, I will be honest, I won't be upset to not see Tavaroff again.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, wow, poor Luke, your first villain was just depressingly easy, but not easy, because,
Yeah, that's what I'm just like, I mean, I would be happy if we got, a TV headline of him getting sentenced to prison for the rest of his life. I think that would be awesome.
Yes.
That would be awesome. So,
not that anyone in Gotham stays in prison, but we could try. Give it a whirl.
Tavaroff gets sentenced to Arkham with Alice, and oh god, I don't even want to think about that.
Oh god, yeah, no, thank you.
No, we're not talking about that.
Next.
New Rachel said, I feel the same way about Alice and Ocean that I did with the attempt at giving Helena a romantic storyline in Orphan Black. It wasn't necessary. I agree. I do. Yeah. Some characters just don't need romantic storylines.
Yeah.
And as much as I do really want Alice and Sophia, clearly we weren't getting that. So just let her be a disaster of the crazy kind, not just the headcanon bisexual disaster that she is in my head, because I'm projecting bisexuality onto characters until proven otherwise.
I mean, I feel like Rachel Scarston was down for it, and they had the chemistry. They could have went there.
Yeah. I mean, I think they definitely could have done that if they wanted to, and they just chose not to.
And that COVID excuse, that their storyline kind of was in the same timeline of Alice and Ocean, so they could have done
sorry,
intimacy with the two of them instead.
Yes. So the COVID excuse. So in that lovely Carolyn Dry's interview, she was talking about people discussing the lack of lesbian intimacy and being like, oh, COVID, because, known COVID side effect, homophobia. That's clearly what happened here. So they're just like, yeah, let's just give Alice a heterosexual plot line and the lesbians can be sad.
No, that's what happens during pandemics, apparently.
Yeah. Could this give you cramps or homophobia? Dang, I got the cramp side effect. Oh.
Darn. Hate when that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, they could have done Sophia.
Yeah, okay. So Mad Hatter versus Alice in season 3, potential. That'll be interesting.
That could be cool.
It was... So the trophy case, it just had Mad Hatter's hat. And that was listed as one of the objects that gone off into the world. I was like,
I was a little confused about the whole trophy thing. What exactly is going on with that? They were just they're out there. We have to get them. And I was are they magic? What's up with that? I don't know.
It was a very typical Arrowverse ploy for the next season. I feel like that's exactly what they do to Legends every season.
But is there a danger to them being out there? Why are they so upset about it?
Meh.
Yeah,
So,
no,
okay,
right.
so we had Mad Hatter's hat, we had Penguin's umbrella, we had Poison Ivy's magical vine. They're like, oh, these are potential like things. Other people could pick them up, or the villains could come back for them. And it's like, all right, so
like villain tease,
I really hope we don't see Penguin again, just because we had Penguin done rather well and chaotic and also very homophobic throughout Gotham. So it's like, I don't want to see the Hourverse touch Penguin. I don't want to see them touch Mad Hatter. And I'm petrified to see them touch Poison Ivy.
I would much prefer to see Poison Ivy in like the Birds of Prey universe.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn.
I also just really love animated Ivy in the Harley Quinn show. So it's like, I don't want to see CW touch her because we also had her in Gotham, and I'm just like concerned. And also they're like, Poison Ivy's vine's out there. Who's gonna touch it? And it's like, well, whoever touches it will most likely die.
Probably.
Because Poison Ivy herself. Sorry, this is more like coherent, but like feelings.
The comments have pointed out that Mad Hatter's hat is a mind control device, and I do now recall that from the animated series. So
yeah,
good point.
So it's like, yeah, anyone could use that. That's fine. Like, go ahead, give me that, I guess. But also, like, oh no, that's also problematic. And
I would just fangirl and die if Laura Vandervoort special guest starred as Supergirl, because that is my Smallville heart in a nutshell, and that would just make me so happy. And I almost died when Tom Welling was in the Crisis crossover. I flipped out, and I was like, they have girl children. I never thought about them having girl children. I always thought of them having sons. So, that would make my heart very happy. So that'd be cool.
Somebody said, let Margot Robbie kiss Poison Ivy. Yes.
Yes.
Please. Someone's headcanon now, like people are petitioning apparently now that Megan Fox has come out as like bisexual. They're like, Megan Fox is Ivy? And I'm like, I could get behind it. Like, she's not on my original listing, but I'm like, I could get behind her and Margot Robbie. They would be adorable. So like, you know. But yeah, also you guys, everyone in the chat is 1000% correct. We will not see Penguin because of Penguin being in the Batman. Yeah, we won't.
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna just
that. Honestly, I feel like the Batman will probably handle that better. To be honest.
Ooh, do you think Ivy's Ryan's mom?
I
like it. I could see them pulling that, and I will see how I feel about that.
It's a very chaotic idea, and I like it.
Yeah, like I could see them doing it, be like, surprise, we had Ivy here all along. I'll just be like, you. But I could, like, depending on how they do it, I could get behind it.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know how I feel about the whole Ryan's mom storyline. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's happening, but you know.
It felt kind of like it was a random thing they threw in there because Alice was like, oh, well, I killed your adoptive mom.
Well, also, maybe to, like, keep Alice in the show, like, she'll keep visiting her, like, tell me about my mom, and Alice
right,
like,
I can see that.
I know things, but, like, I don't know, it felt very cheesy and unnecessary.
I was like, I mean, I think Ryan would have plenty of adventures and plots, like, without this.
Right,
so, I mean,
and it feels like something they've done before. I mean, I don't know if they actually have, but it's just a very overdone trope, I feel like your parents are secretly alive.
Your mom is out there.
Right?
It also brings in that trope of how, like, you're not, like, a full person without your, like, family.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, we're going to be going into Ryan's backstory and how she feels about having her mother in her life. And it's like, not everyone has healthy, I thankfully have a healthy relationship with my mom, but it's like, not everyone does, and that's okay. But also, it's like, Ryan's great as she is, and I understand I am not an adopted person. I don't understand that struggle, what they want to, like, show, but I don't trust them to give it the justice other shows I think have done better for the whole, like, finding your adopted family stuff, you know?
Yeah, now that you bring up, like, Ryan's backstory, I'm like, I don't need more opportunities for them to be like, more trauma for Ryan.
Right. I know they're just going to make it super dramatic, and I just, like, don't let Ryan be happy, please. Can I have that?
Sometime
we
next
have
season.
A happy storyline for some of our characters.
Please.
That would be really nice.
Oh, God. Somebody said that would give another explanation for Ryan's love for the plant. That would be interesting if Ivy was his mom.
This is true.
Emma.
That would be interesting. That's true. Okay, so getting to some thoughts on the episode, though. I think a couple of us opined that the Black Mask's general call gave some Purge vibes.
Yeah.
That was definitely the first thought in my head.
Yeah,
Same.
it felt like that.
Yeah, and it's the whole like dropping masks off at the corners, and then I was also super lost about like the masks in the window thing.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I
What was-
didn't follow.
And the random family that I was just like, I don't. What? Why? I was lost. I don't know if I'm just like making things up. I thought like it looked like there was like a bat symbol in the mask. I might just be making that up. I don't know. Okay, maybe not.
I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't know.
Like I feel like I'm
It's
missing
very
something.
strange.
Like Ryan having to be like, I'm done being Batwoman. Like that whole speech thing just made me really sad for her. And then everyone was like, we support Batwoman. And then like we got to hear Viper again and be like, Batwoman, we love you. And it's like, thanks, Viper. But like also we knew that, but also what? What?
I mean, I think her name is Vesper, but I also
Vesper.
support calling her Viper. So
Yeah,
I mean
Vesper.
that also works. I like that.
Yeah, Vesper Fairchild. Her new name's Viper. Sorry, guys.
Speaking of underwhelming ends for villains that didn't exactly appear in the finale because they were in a used car lot somewhere.
Yeah, supposedly. Sakaya? Like, why?
It was
I don't know. They'll wake her up whenever, I guess.
When they
Maybe
remember.
Alice is in prison now. I don't know.
that's what. Yeah, it's. They did mention that in the interview, and Carolyn Drives was like, "Who knows? Maybe," which is like the Arrowverse no. So
Yeah, they underutilized her. Like they could have done so much better with the Sophia storyline.
did, and like I think I would have been a lot happier if like they'd had Black Mask like take a backseat and like had her do an epic like last thing.
Yeah.
Establish her as like the actual big bad. But
I mean, I think we were all expecting that, and for a show that's so centered on women, it would have made sense.
right,
But,
she was just like a much more compelling character.
yeah.
Just, yeah, okay. They're using the masks as bat jack-o'-lanterns. Okay, cool. I
Okay.
was like, I hope I saw something right there, and I was just like, that's weird.
I'm
So
glad everybody got that but us.
Good, good. Thank you guys for catching the things we didn't because we were busy yelling about the purge.
yes, that is what was happening. I was just gonna say the Kane twins falling into rivers, and Kate fell into the river this time.
Like, was that supposed to be the same bridge? That's what I thought. Like, were they alluding to that?
It was definitely a parallel, I think, which I kind
Yeah.
of liked. Yeah.
I didn't like put it together until they were like in the water, so I wouldn't have been like, oh, it's the bridge. I was like, oh, they're just in the river. Okay.
It was also very weird, like during that whole Kate and Alice part where like I feel like they were trying to wrap their storyline and like make parallels to the beginning. Why was there like a big ocean montage in there? Like that was not necessary at all.
It was like the stupidest place to put it. I'm sorry. Like you couldn't have Alice like have a moment anywhere else. It was just like,
Right.
oh, what do you say? Like, I'm getting us a camper.
Yeah. Apparently, that's why he died. He was renting a camper for them to go travel, like road trip together. Can we talk about the funny? I think the funniest thing about that scene, even though it was supposed to be very emotional, was Alice, like the way she was floating, her hands touching Kate's face, which is very sweet. And then I was like, oh, good, she's going to have a nice memory about Kate. And then it's like flashes to ocean first, and I'm like,
Yeah.
at least we got to have Kate have her version of like saving back. Like that was very sweet, and I thought they would have some weird twin moment of they both see the same thing, and I appreciate the symbolism, but it's not what we got.
She had to see the guy who hates her sister instead during her nice sisterly moment. Good times.
Gonna run away together, and I wasn't paying attention buying a camper, and now I'm dead.
Yeah.
Tragic.
Tiny violin.
Yeah, basically. Trying to.
That was just disappointing. And then Ryan, like, I was happy you got to have like Ryan help Alice like save Kate, and I couldn't type the word resuscitate when I was trying to type it to Rachel in like my separate message. I was like resuscitate. So like that was great, and then the GCPD had to ruin the nice moment they were building. But you know,
Yeah.
I just wish they hugged. I honestly just wish they hugged, and because it would have been more tragic if it wasn't just Kate spitting up water. It would have ripped my heart out more if we got to actually have them hug as the GCPD like dramatically pulled her away. You know, like
Yep. That was just.
yeah. Yes, thank you for the word symbolism in the chat. I agree. No one gives anything about Ocean. I'm trying not to curse. I'm being good.
We're trying.
Yeah, and I also hated how they gave Alice a snake bite induced ocean hallucination in the train car. I hate the train car so much.
I really
Unexplained
hope
train
we
car.
never see it again.
Ugh, please, like, yeah, please. I just. They did like such a good job making Sophia like a compelling villain, and like the actress was really good at it, and then they just like gave her a back seat to this white dude, and I was like,
Also,
It would have been so interesting to get out of Gotham too, like had they continued her story or whatever, and
right,
not burned all of the the Desert Rose to the ground.
like basically fridging her, sticking her in the corner of a used car lot.
Basically, I mean, she might wake up one day, you know, when Alice gets out of jail, maybe.
Also, new Rachel, you're right. Sophia did have other lieutenants in the comics.
Yes,
that like were her people. So like yes, hopefully they remember that, and it's not just going to be some random men come to like bring Sophia back. Even though there were men on the island, I liked the show's version and like the more dramatic version of just like no, this is for saving women and like victims and stuff.
And Ocean.
And Ocean, I guess the token man, I guess.
but looked how well that worked out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disappointment.
Okay, but Sophie. So, what do we think about Sophie going forward? Because she is like, I love Kate, and then Kate leaves.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been saying this, but I really want to see Sophie get some kind of position of power, whether it's like restarting the Crows or like reforming the GCPD or doing her own thing or joining Team Batwoman. Like, I don't think she needs to just be a love interest. I feel like they should kind of build on her actual skills and talents instead.
Yes, I would love that.
Yeah, I would really like to see that.
I think if they're going to try to like pull the GCPD in more, like because they don't have the Crows,
Yeah.
Right.
they would be really good if she could get in there. I would love if she hooked up with Ryan, honestly. I think that would be super compelling, and I think they have a super adorable relationship where Sophie's like, oh, you're not a terrible person.
My only fear with that is if they ever do bring Kate back, then we're like inevitably going to get a love triangle at this point, which no.
I mean, I feel pretty solid they're not going to bring Kate back in the near future.
True.
They're always like, oh, never say never, but Carolyn Dries is like, we're wrapping up her story, and that's usually pretty definitive. So.
Fingers crossed then.
I also kind of wish I wish we had Kate cast this season and then not actually see her till third season. So we could have had a full season of just developing Ryan and not making it now be the third season is going to be diving more into Ryan's personal life and her family background. It's like, no. You already made me love her successfully with what you gave us. I would have loved more of that because, like people were saying in the chat, she did feel like a secondary character in her own thing. And I understand you also had to wrap up Kate's story, but they did that poorly.
Yeah.
It would have been different if it was 19 episodes or like a solid Kate has her memories back episode sooner. I didn't want to see Alice and Kate fight each other in the way that we had in this episode when she was still Cersei for a bit. Like, no.
Right, yeah. The whole tying Cersei into Kate's like plot coming back was just, it felt unnecessary. It was just...
Yeah, if they were going to do that, it could have been a much longer storyline, which I agree would have worked in season 3, I think, a little bit better. But there was no point to them being like, she's evil for one episode and then forgetting about it. She has her memories back.
Yeah. It was just like such an awkward short, like, part for her to come back and be like, oh, and then she's gone. So, I mean, if they do recast Maggie and they have her with Kate, I think that would be fun, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to recast Maggie because they don't like doing things like that, except when they do.
Yeah.
It's the Arrowverse in a nutshell. Batwing. We should talk Batwing. Okay. So,
Yes.
parts of the episode that I did fully enjoy, Batwing, Luke. Yeah, so I super loved the super adorable thing of him being like, "Oh, I was drawing a black Batman as a kid," and like Lucius Fox being like, "I'm gonna make this into a thing for my son." Like that's so cute.
That's very sweet.
Gives me feelings. Like, okay, if you know you already screwed us out of Lucius Fox, like at least you know.
I mean, I would love for the CW to just get like a piggy bank going for Morgan Freeman to come be.
Honestly, I mean, they have to. That's just, you can't, like, that's the only way they can do it. He has to be Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Dude, I would have been, why didn't they give us a storyline that was like, actually, Luke, your dad is still alive? I would have been like 1000% more interested in that than Ryan's mom. Like,
yeah, I agree. That would have been very cool.
Because then they would have bonded and tried to help him find his.
Yes.
That would have been so good. Why?
It would have been the girls helping Luke with something for once, more than just, hey, we're gonna let you go gamble and have a really great moment with Diggle.
Totally oblivious to you, like getting your super suit and gambling and.
That's what I will say. Obviously, we disliked that the plot started by him getting shot.
Yeah.
That felt unnecessary, and it felt like there was a million other ways they could have built that plot, and like they could have done it like over a much longer arc. I feel like.
Yeah.
One of the things in the episode they pointed out was like Luke has a suit, but he's not an actually trained superhero. I'm like, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So.
I liked how he caught Mary, then Mary unintentionally shut the. Like that was cute. Like I accept that because like that feels on brand.
That was adorable.
It was very superhero for her to be just like falling and getting caught.
Yeah, like we got the token. I caught you landing, which is very cute. And then it's like, no, you're falling. But
now they have to get together because he caught her. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's how it works, right? That's how Kate caught Sophie. Like, that's what happens. I want to see also what I hope we see will be Ryan and Luke training together because that'd be cute. Because he's like, oh no, I box, and they'll be like, what do you mean you box? He's like, yeah, I box. I'm like, come on, like, and they'll be like, can you show some boxing moves? And he's like, yeah, can you show me how to properly fight with the stick? And she'll be like, you mean my like crossbow? And I'm like, yeah, like, come on, it'd be cute.
That one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like that. That would be nice.
I'd like Mary get involved. I just want training montages. I want I want a mall shopping sequence for some reason, and I want a beach episode. I want.
I think Mimi needs to be in the writer's room for that one.
Honestly,
I want
her to start yelling things at them. Beach episode. What's the plot? They're at the beach. What else?
Figure it
they
out.
have a relaxing episode. Why? Because I said so. Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, I would love for them to just have like more positive storylines and like
just like a campy episode here and there, just like some filler.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think everything needs to be like super plot or comics focused all the time.
Right. Yeah, and this is what we I was saying before we went on air that I think the best episode this season was the Stephanie Brown one, and I think part of that was because it did embrace the campy a little bit more.
Yeah.
And like honestly, that was like my one of my favorite episodes in the first season was like the campy one that they did. It was just like, you know, it works a lot better. I think they were just really attached to the idea that Gotham has to be dark, which I mean, if you've seen like Batman the Animated Series or Batman 66, you know, that's not like, we had gotten a lot of very dark Batman and dark Gotham in our days between the Dark Knight trilogy and Gotham the show and just a lot of other stuff too. But like, I think the show could like, you know, find a lot better footing if they just like, you know, like, oh, well, we don't have to take ourselves 100% serious 100% of the time.
Yeah. And to your point about the Stephanie Brown episode, like that proves they can do the campy and the comic storylines together because like they did work in a major comics villain with that as well. So it's not really one or the other.
Exactly. Like they can make it work. And, you know, it's just like, give a little flexibility. You know, you can like, you don't actually have to keep things 100% how they are.
Yeah.
Also, new Rachel, knowing our luck, Ryan will be training off screen and we won't actually see it.
No, I want.
But I can hope that
when you were sparring last night that you didn't see.
Yeah.
Luke and Ryan have such a great dynamic. Like, they would be dumb to not capitalize on that. And
They
get
better,
some training and
honestly.
stuff.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
I'd hope so. And yes, I do think Sophia is obsessed with Alice and she's a stalker. That's very much the vibe that I'm given.
Yeah. It went from like, oh, this is the gay I want, to, oh no, this is now problematic gay.
Yeah, you only have me.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
But also, like, Ocean's not a good, viable love interest for you either. This isn't good. Just stay single, girl. Like,
Really, though.
Yeah.
take some time to reflect on yourself while you're in Arkham again.
Yes, please.
Ponder your life choices a bit more.
Get better taste.
Please.
Ooh, Commissioner Maggie Sawyer with Sophie helping her in the GCPD. Yeah, these would be nice things. Will we get these nice things? Hopefully.
Would be
Hopefully.
nice.
Well, I mean, we got one nice thing this season, which was Luke being Batman. So, I mean, Batwing. Not Batman. Luke is not Batman.
That would be a great twist, maybe.
That would have been something. If
Imagine Mary putting on a costume, go out and help. I'm not sure how much training she'd get because these characters who could train her have left the show.
Really.
I mean, right? Yeah, like that. Okay,
Julia
so
needs to return from Berlin, clearly. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah, come back from Berlin, please.
but now I'm picturing like, okay, so technically speaking, Ryan could train her. Like Ryan could train all of them on like doesn't. Ryan could train all of them, not as like a I'm a superhero, but in like a she is her one of her jobs, sort of kind
Sophie
of.
could too. Like, Sophie's not a superhero,
Yeah.
but she has like combat skills and
Yeah.
reflexes, all the fun stuff that you need to be a superhero.
I could totally see, Mary being like, well, I want to get in the game, and like, them trying to train and like that kind of stuff, and like,
Yeah.
could feel some like Arrow season 3 vibes with Laurel, except like not terrible because they kind of made that terrible.
Yeah.
But like the general vibes of like how that started, I could say.
Yeah.
I also agree that the campiest idea of the season was the drug they sent people and the cannibals, and it was paired with the racist police. Why? I don't understand the dartboard or the roulette wheel that's in the writer's room sometimes. I'm just like, all right, we got to do a Halloween episode, because wasn't that was our Halloween episode? Or at least it came out during Halloween.
Yeah.
But also I've heard across the board, even with like Nancy Drew, a lot of the CW shows had to do the token, like, there's racism. Oh, and by the way, it's a police officer. It's like, yes, we're aware that's what we've been watching over the last like year. TV should still be escapism, and unless you're going to like fix it, it's like you're not going to fix the GCPD. We all know the GCPD is also a symbolism for New York's own police force and things, and I will leave that as that is. But like, we don't. I am very white. I don't want to see what we put all of these lovely characters through. I don't think any of our other people.
Well, it doesn't help that they're not doing any of these conversations like due diligence. Like, they're just pairing them with random storylines, and then they're not actually saying anything. Like, I don't know.
They just used it to give their black characters grief. They didn't actually address it, and like that's not.
And I feel like that's a lot of serious topics. Like, not even just racism. Like, everything on the CW, they're like, oh, well, here's like a suggestion, but we're not actually going to have that conversation. We're just
exactly. Yeah. No, it's just like just enough so they're like, oh, we're woke.
Yeah. We pay attention to those things. It's like
not enough to do the actual emotional labor for the issue and like have satisfying character growth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So like, hopefully next season they stay far away from it.
That would be nice. Yeah. Next season hopes. Well, I mean, they're obviously going to do the thing. It'd be nice to get Mary. Is Bat or Flamebird?
Yeah.
Bat something. Sure.
Yeah.
Just give her a Bat title. Throw it in there.
Also, I agree with the line between commentary and exploitation is very, very thick. They tiptoe across it, and you're like, what are you doing? Stop it.
I feel like Batwoman tried really hard to just like throw in the commentary, but just like veered off the exploitation.
And there were places where it felt like it was like not exploitation, I guess, or like it felt like they were maybe making a valid statement, but a lot of it just didn't feel that way.
That's what it annoyed me that in the episode after Luke got shot, when he's like in the hospital, they were very much like portraying Luke as a criminal and stuff. And I know like, well, they found like the footage, but I feel like there wasn't like a satisfying like backlash to that.
Yeah.
Like I would have liked, you know, for there to be more of, I guess, maybe like a public rallying, like some reaction beyond, well, Jacob shuttered the crows, so.
Yeah.
And also, like, Kavarov, like we said, had such an underwhelming conclusion, too. And it's like, I would have liked to see him actually get, like, I mean, I know he kind of did get justice, but I feel like that should have been worked out more.
It was lame. It was very lame. Like, if I wanted any of the characters to end in jail, it was Kavarov.
Right? Yeah. Like, he deserved it.
Right.
But no. I like your theory about Mary potentially being like Hugo Strain's daughter. I mean, I know Gotham isn't connected, but they could play loose with this being Crisis plus still bring in BD Wong. Ooh. Can they afford BD Wong though?
Probably not.
I wish they could.
Morgan Freeman, forget it.
It's just.
But you're right that him being like
a year.
You're right about being like the opposite of Mary's a doctor. Like that would be cool.
That would be.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, also, like, if they are, like, hardcore avoiding Lucy's face in, like, Luke's vision drug state, I hope that's what they were implying. They were like, we haven't cast him yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, do we need, like, 2 Finding Parents storylines? Like, I would have preferred if they just went there. Now they're just going to be like, we have to find all these people. Like, we found Kate, now Ryan's mom, now Luke's dad.
We're now the Scooby Gang.
Right?
I mean, where's Mary's original dad?
Yeah.
Ooh. This is true. Find him next.
This is sarcasm. Don't do that.
No.
Okay. I need to talk about the parole board scene because it was painful. So, background. Parole boards in general just like don't believe in wrongful convictions, and if you go to if you're like in prison and you go to parole board and they're like, because part of the whole like being on parole thing is like you have to show remorse for your crimes. So if you're maintaining your innocence, like they won't grant you parole. That's like a pretty big thing. It's very messed up, extremely messed up. I know of one case off the top of my head where they did actually like grant someone parole while still maintaining their innocence out of a lot of cases. So her being like, I'm not going to apologize because I'm innocent. Like, I mean, I felt for Ryan and was like, you go off, girl, like, please. But like, I don't think they would have had that reaction. So it was just kind of like it just felt unnecessary. It's just like, it felt just like a scene where I was like, you didn't need this. Like, I didn't need a reminder that you were going like, oh, Ryan's a criminal. Like,
I feel like they were trying to bring it full circle and be like, oh, this is where we started. And like, I appreciate that in storytelling usually, but like you said, it just didn't feel realistic. And everybody was just like really corny and like, oh yes, beautiful speech. Like, you're free. I mean, really?
Let you off parole now. And I mean, like, honestly, if, you know, once you're granted parole, as long as you don't screw up, you don't generally get another hearing. It just gets terminated. So it was kind of just like, yeah. So. Okay.
You should have pulled the Iron Man and been like, I am Batwoman. And then they all been like, what is happening?
That would have been something. That
right? Would have been way more interesting.
I did appreciate the one like glance to the parole officer, the lady that was like,
right?
That was funny. I like that.
Girl now.
I don't mean to generalize, but I legitimately wonder if the writers of these shows ever worked in anywhere but writers' rooms. I mean,
that's valid.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like yes, but I don't know because I don't know any other person. I can't be like, yo, give me your resume. I want to know what happened here.
It's just strange to me because I'm like so immersed in like book writer Twitter, and I feel like book writers do so much research for these things, and then television writers are like, you know, whatever. We'll just give it a shot and see if people notice.
Especially knowing the environment of the writers' rooms on the CW, and like a lot of it is like, hey, fun, like
right.
The Legends writers like posting a photo of Sarah Lance over Oliver on the posters in the hallway. That's quality content. Thank you.
Yes.
Not what we're getting from the Batwoman writers' room. I feel like I would enjoy it more definitely, if there are more people of color in the writers' rooms, if they're going to have plots like this with Luke and Ryan and all that stuff, and maybe just like, I don't know, at least someone being like, hey, so what if we gave them a happy plot? What if we let them be happy? Like, that would just, you know.
I feel like all the heads would turn and they would just be like, no.
Yeah.
Fun.
But, I mean, and Batwoman's great, you know, like, oh, we're great for representation, and like, they are. And, like, seeing LGBT people of color, that's, like, super cool. But, like, the white gays are happy.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love Avalanche, not Avalanche. I love Avalanche, I do, and I'm happy that they are happy because those are my girls. Yeah. But I'm just like, come on, like, can other people not have some happiness, please? Yeah. That would be nice.
Happiness in the Arrowverse? Are you crazy?
Apparently,
it's true.
It's not happening anywhere else.
Just the CW, the whole CW. There's
Andy, you're
also, why'd you do that? Why'd you have to do that?
Oh my god.
There's no need. No.
We didn't need to see him again.
I feel like it's a photo from like not Lost, Survivor.
Yes.
No, I had to Google be like I Google like ocean picture Arrowverse Batwoman. My grammar is off tonight, so that's why. But also the reason I'm not on camera is because y'all don't want to see what I look like after my second vaccine shot. So like, it's a miracle I'm here. I'm alive, thankfully. The weird thing, my spine was hurting yesterday, and I'm like, this is not.
That sounds unpleasant. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but now like it's just my back and the rest of my body. So yay, spine is okay. You know who's not okay though? You know who's not okay though? Ocean is not okay. He's in the bottom.
Okay. That's okay though.
And in your photo, Andy, it just looked like, because, you know, like, obviously they were like letting him like grow a little bit like Peach Fuzz, but like the mustache looks so pronounced and I hate it so much.
I feel so bad for the actor because I'm sure there's fans who've been like pissed off. They're like, oh my god, you're like you know, you're making so that Alice doesn't have her queerness or whatever. I mean, listen, we all have to start somewhere, and I'm sure but like, yeah, there's no way in hell that this woman is straight. Like, I'm like, listen, all those close-up shots was fine, like, you know, like, no, girl, that's clearly some queerness going on, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, for one thing, definitely, you know, don't blame actors for plot choices. That's not their fault. It's not this poor schmuck's fault.
Even with the writers, like, you know, like, even like if you disagree with something, just be respectful about it. You know, like there's no reason to hate or send death threats or
exactly.
It's
never a reason for that.
It's never justified.
Yeah, because there's, I mean, even if you don't agree with something, there's still people at the end of the day. They're like they're trying to do what they think is a good job. Sometimes it clicks, sometimes it just doesn't. And Ocean just didn't swim with anyone.
Still gotta make those puns.
I'm sorry. When they talked about, you know, like, you know, maybe you'll join Ocean in the ocean, like, I screamed. When they decided to play a song called, you know, having the lyrics "Ocean" in it, then
part of me wonders if they knew there was going to be this reaction and they were just like, let's make as many puns and jokes as possible.
Honestly, if they'd been doing that all along, I so would have been into it, but they were like, let's take this seriously.
Well, apparently Rachel Scarlett says she considers Alice to be bi. Well, call me when she has producer status on the show, and then we can talk.
That would be awesome. I would
love it. I would love it if she was bisexual. There's you know, more bis, more lesbians, more gays. I'm all here for it. We were just right before I joined y'all, like, we were recording on the Flash Party talking about, hey, Flash is a little too straight. There's too few gays on the show. We need more gays on the Flash. So
yes, that would be good. I would like more gays on the Flash. I also, off topic, but I like Sue Dibney a lot. I watched the last couple episodes of the Flash, and I was like, I like her.
Sue is pretty cool.
She's an improvement from Ralph, for sure.
I mean, was Ralph ever an improvement though?
No.
I mean, he was barely in season 6 as is. Like, all he did, like, was like, I'm looking for Sue. Disappeared for a couple episodes. Also Ralph, still looking for Sue. Also disappeared for a couple episodes. But yeah, something I gotta talk about is how short that Batwing versus Tamara fight was. I'm like,
Oh, I was
like,
kept hoping they'd like go back to it, but they didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I know it was just it was a padded suit, but I'm sorry, that actor looks really really good as fake jacked.
He looked overinflated, like
Yeah.
like
a
what
little
was it
too
you
air.
said? Someone had stung him with a bee or something like that. Was
I really got like werewolf vibes. Like we were on the Vampire Diaries or something, and he was like transforming.
I kind of wish that if he does come back in season 2, because I still want him to become like Bane 2.0, and not just because he shared my article and I had no idea about it until like a day later, but also because I'm like, it would be to see like what he can do as like a more stable Bane, like not looking like that, obviously. Oh my god, so valid. He looked like a Scott Lobdell drawing. Yep, that's
Yeah,
not a
you're,
name, not a name I like to promote, but like yeah, that is true.
Rachel, you are right. Luke was jacked in Crisis, and that's like, I made my fiance sit through it, and he was sitting there going, Luke is ripped. Why isn't he doing stuff? I'm like, you're right. Why isn't Luke doing stuff? Because like Crisis Luke was like, yeah, I walk around shirtless, like
Did
with
you
my
make
shirt on.
him
It's
watch
like, dang,
Crisis?
Luke, good for you.
Did you really make him watch Crisis? Or what,
Yes, I made him suffer through a lot of things with me because he loves me. He sat through
Well,
Riverdale at the
Crisis
beginning
was
of our
great,
relationship.
though.
Riverdale, that's impressive.
I
That's
know.
wild.
He was at one point. He was like, "I can't do this anymore." I was like, "I appreciate that you made it as far as you did," which was like, he's watched a lot of bad TV for me.
Well, I wonder if the other person in our backstage, if he's watched Riverdale. Just everyone knows. Me and another member of this network, we were sitting backstage just trying to distract the girls with all the most ridiculous comments of all time.
A for effort.
Emma, hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Well, hey,
Just popping up me and Andy like two diggles, just showing up where we don't belong. We don't even go here, Andy B.
I mean, definitely.
did I
not.
summon you because I mentioned Riverdale?
No, he doesn't
Which
watch.
I haven't watched in a while.
I don't think Nate, you never watched Riverdale, have you?
I think I watched one episode just to see what the fuss was about, and it wasn't for me. Not saying it's not a good show, but it just wasn't for me. So
It's pretty white. Let's just
the
be honest. It's
only
pretty white.
I have the Riverdale is one of the performers on one of the wrestling shows I watch is Luke Perry's son, and so I like the episode of Riverdale I caught Luke Perry was on there, so that's the only connection I have to Riverdale at all.
you're not missing much. I mean,
That
no.
minimal
You're really not.
connection.
You're fine. You're really not missing anything.
Some would call it tenuous at best.
Yeah, Riverdale's like escalation of like crazy things that happen. They're like, we literally. My
the
brain.
D&D plot, the murder cult, the small
K-pop has
syrup.
the maple
K-pop
syrup.
has polluted my brain because I go to say Jughead, but my brain keeps saying Jungkook, and I was like, no,
Yes.
that's not right. They like killed Jughead, and then the next thing was like, oh, we're gonna kill Archie, and I'm like, God.
Yeah.
I like got up to season 2, but I would edit people's articles like beyond that, and it just got progressively weirder. And I
Oh
would
my
be like, what is
god.
happening on this show right now?
You're like, I need a
typo?
raise from editing these articles about Riverdale. This is not helping for anyone.
I'll be honest, the main reason why I lasted as long as I did, which is up until like the current, before the time skip on, was because Jeremy, who was with Rachel and I in last season, him and I and a bunch of our friends had a Angry Riverdale group chat where we would watch this together, and we all agreed, like, in season 4, like, we can't do this anymore, and then I don't think any of us have watched season 5. Like, I tried, and Ben was like, please stop, and I was like, yeah, you're right, I should. He's like, I can't handle you watching this show. It's really bad, and you get really angry, and it's not enjoyable anger. You're just angry. I'm like, oh, okay, got it. So I stopped because, yeah.
The only thing I keep watching Riverdale is because it used to be on Wednesdays at 8. And I'm like, I don't really have anything much going on Wednesdays at 8. Right after I record Flash, I will watch it. We don't need to we don't need to zoom in on my square when I'm not even on camera. It's fine. It just looks awkward.
No slander of my directing skills, sir.
No. Where was I going with this? Yeah, so I had nothing to watch on Wednesday, but now they're pairing Riverdale after the Flash for season 8. I'm like, oh Lord.
Oh no, that's a weird pairing combo.
I am so pissed off. Where I'm like, but also at the same time, I'm sort of relieved because I'm like, I am so sick of the CW doing like let's put two DC shows on one night. You all got 7 other nights,
right? Like spread them out a little, please.
Yeah, like I love when we had Supergirl on Mondays, Flash on Tuesdays, Arrow on Wednesdays, and Legends on Thursdays.
It was nice.
And then I don't know what happened.
I like Nancy Drew thrown in the mix. Like it's a good combo. I liked having the craziness of last season drama. It was like Nancy Drew and the Batwoman. I was like, this is an odd combo. Or it was Supergirl and the Batwoman. Whatever it was, I was like, this got too dark because Nancy Drew was a really good first season, and I still really enjoyed the second season. It's like, but they're in 2 entirely different types of drama.
Yeah,
because they have ghosts.
Here's a question we can definitely answer. When do you think season 3 of Batwoman is coming? It's coming on Wednesday, October 13th at 9 Central on the CW. Dare to defy.
Happy birthday to me! 4 days after.
Yeah.
And then Legends is airing at Wednesdays at 8 as well. So there you go. Again, I don't understand why we're like, we gotta have 2 shows on the same night. Like Mondays for Black Lightning and Arrow American was so good. Like, why can't we just have some variety, you all? Not Flash or Riverdale, because I think that's the worst combo in the whole universe. It's like if they're putting Riverdale at 9, you all know that this next season could be the season when they finally go full into the let's say the word starts with N and ends with zest.
Yep.
You mean they haven't already?
Oh, they
no,
have.
thank God they have not so far.
Well, I mean, they were the Blossom twins, but.
Ooh,
right.
Yes, sorry. Nelda, I understand seeing there was some chemistry with Ocean and Alice, but I 1000% agree with you about Rachel Scarson's chemistry with Bo from Lost Girl. That was that was a great bisexual disaster. Also, just Lost Girl, just such a good show. If you want actual consistent bisexual representation and just consistent just LGBTQ plus alphabet mafia disasterness, watch Lost Girl. Just watch Lost Girl. Watch Winona Earp. Yeah.
I think Rachel Scarson is a very good actress, and she's very good at Alice. So I think she naturally has chemistry with pretty much anyone else. And that's more or less what we saw with Ocean.
Yeah. It's we don't like him, and she did. There were really good moments with that. I loved their ridiculously cringe, awkward moment with Jacob in the previous episode where she was like, "It's my boyfriend." That was cute. That's all they were.
Could you imagine?
Sorry, go ahead.
No. You're the. I'm the one. Me and Nate are the party crashers. So you're the you have.
Everybody's excited to see you guys. So, but I feel like their lighter moments were better, and the more dramatic they made Alice and Ocean, the more it was just please stop, get it off screen.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Ocean. Poor Ocean. Who will weep for Ocean?
No one.
The Ocean.
The urine that gets into the ocean.
It's where he belongs.
Yeah. Again, I feel so bad for the actor because I'm he must have been super excited again on this big DC show and stuff like that, and this is what he got, and I'm like.
Andy, did you catch our conversation about how Alice got to cremate him?
Wait, what?
Yeah, apparently she got cremated.
She shows up with his ashes, and we're like, okay, how did they? Did she just carry his body and someone was like, can you cremate this?
well, Miss, why is he stabbed? I just cremate him, but Miss,
I'm a wanted villain, but I promise I didn't murder him.
Yeah,
I mean, it's probably the same person who's now storing Sophia's body somewhere for.
Oh my God! This comment.
Yes.
There's always other fish in the ocean. Ooh, metaphor.
Also, yes, Nell, the bowing suit was amazing, is amazing. Present,
Yes.
both sense.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Is this what happens, Mimi, when I don't let you curse? Like you get. I'm kidding.
Maybe.
Maybe. We will look into it because I'm sure there must be ways we can cuss on YouTube without getting into trouble.
Ooh, Fish Mooney. Sorry, I haven't thought of Fish Mooney in a while.
Oh, there's some fish in the ocean
Yeah.
because she fell into a river in season 1 of golf.
Yeah.
This vaccine. You know what the funny thing is? I feel like I'm drunk, even though I've been cured from, not cured, but I've gotten a vaccine shot. Nate, don't you dare! I know what you're about to say. Don't you dare say what I know what you're about to say.
No comment. No, look.
No comment.
Just saying, Andy B going off that Pfizer. He on that Moderna trip.
How did you know I got fired? I have literally not told anyone.
Here's the thing: like I had 2 guesses because I'm assuming that they're not rocking the J&J because everybody's a little suspicious about that J&J. So I was like, I got a 50-50 shot. Let's go with Pfizer because it just sounds funnier.
I got the J&J.
Me too.
If anyone can get that, if you can get vaccinated, go get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go do it.
We endorse vaccinations.
Can we go back to Alice for a second? Because I'm wondering, why are people giving up on the idea that she could become Red Alice? I think wasn't that the whole point of the finale that she has, when Black Widow was like, you're a terrible villain. You can't both protect Batwoman and hate Batwoman.
Yeah. I mean, I would be super happy if they gave us Red Alice. I'm not sure how much it jives with their whole being like, well, she's going to be in prison now thing. So,
well, Killer Frost was sentenced to life without parole, and
then she was out like 2 episodes later. Oh my god!
I'm still screaming. I'm like, again, at some point, Rachel and Lizzie from Stargirl's podcast, Superman and Lois Lane, we're gonna do a live show and go through every court scene, every law scene ever, and just be like, so. Tell me, how does this, I'm just gonna put a photo there and just let them talk.
How does this make you feel?
I have notes. I could go on for so long about all of my feelings.
Speaking of people that's locked up, why they do that man Jacob like that?
Well,
why did they extradite this man to Metropolis? What's the charge, Your Honor?
Yeah. As much as Jacob annoyed the piss out of me, I feel like he did not deserve to be in prison indefinitely.
Yeah.
A lot of people did not great things on this show.
Well, Tavaroff is walking around, and they're like,
yes.
"Oh, Jacob's been drunk. We won't get him into rehab. We'll put him in prison forever."
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What happened to Tavaroff? I don't even feel like did he go to jail? Because all Luke did was he punched him, and then they walked away.
We never saw Tavaroff again.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be okay with that, but I would be better knowing that he's in jail, and that's why I'm never seeing him again.
Yeah.
I mean, he would be the cutest person in jail. I'm sorry, they cast listen, CW cast a lot of good-looking people, and this was the one time I'm like, you did not need to cast someone this pretty to shoot my baby Luke, and then also be the biggest butthole in the world. I'm just like, every time he was disrespectful to Sophie, I'm like, girl, just punch him between the whatever thing. I'm so frustrated with how much garbage he got away with at the Crows. Oh my god, y'all! Next season, no more Crows, no more DEO. Hopefully, not too much Argas. I don't need any of it.
I also agree with the comment. Rachel Garson is great as a great actress and great as Alice. But you are right. Yes, she's not really needed in Ryan's story, and I guess they're finding ways to make sure she's needed in Mary's story because they don't give Mary enough story other than she's in pain and suffering.
See what I'm concerned is going to end up happening is they're going to feel the need to give Alice her own plot to keep her involved, and it's just going to be her own little world thing.
Separate.
I mean, if y'all don't want Alice anymore, we on the flag, we can take her. I'm sure Naomi can probably have some fun with Alice as well.
I mean, we will take her, but I feel like they just severely limited their options with her, basically, by being like, oh, you're in Arkham Asylum now.
I feel like Red Alice is a natural option because of the way that they set up the whole, well, you can't both love Batwoman and hate Batwoman. So I feel that at this point, like if she can feel things, then do her as an anti-hero. Plus we need, give her the crime Bible.
Yes.
I'm also
Well,
just worried that that's going to be a throwaway line, Andy. Like, it's going to be one of those, like, see, we said she has a heart. We gave her a male love interest to show you she has a heart and that she loves, not the fact that her majority of season 1 was Kate trying to figure out if she could redeem and find her sister and make her sister okay. It's not like you spent an entire first season showing that Alice has depth and chaoticness and craziness and still loves her sister. But no, it takes a man to make it better. Like, no, that's not okay. That's sloppy writing. And I want Red Alice, but I don't think we're going to get it in the way we deserve or see. Like, yes, that Beth line is totally like, yes, that is it. But if she's going to be in Arkham for the foreseeable future, like much like Jacob being written off entirely, it's like, I'm just worried now it's going to be like, and now it will be something really good with the rest of the gang. And now it's back to Arkham where Alice is having another weird therapy set, like it's going to like hard cut to Arkham drama that I don't want anymore. We get Arkham in the video, it's like we've seen Arkham a lot.
Yeah.
We don't need to now it's like, oh, we can use Arkham again, let's use it.
Or if they try to keep
it was Arkham all along.
Yeah.
They try to keep Black Mask involved because they established that he's next door. I'm just no.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna get like a kooky buddy comedy, just next door neighbors. But here's the thing, because when Mimi was saying that, it made me think. I think this could be a problem. I'll say could be because I want to stay positive. It might be a good problem to have, I guess, because we all love Rachel. She's extremely talented, but it almost feels to me like Siler in Heroes back in the day, right? Where you got somebody so compelling as a performer with Zachary Quinto in a character, but you keep bringing them back in ways that the story doesn't necessarily dictate. And I think they could fall into that trap with Alice.
Right. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
They want to just justify having her at any point, so they're not necessarily following what makes sense for the story.
Yeah.
Damn it, Nate! Now I'm gonna have to go watch Heroes. I haven't seen that in so long.
That first season. Watch the first season, and then.
I mean, I was gonna say I think I watched the first season and then stopped because I don't know what happens.
Yeah,
everyone warned me to be like when I was gonna go before Heroes Reborn came out.
Heroes Reborn.
Yeah. Before it came out, I wanted to get into here, and everyone was like, "Well, have fun with season 1." I'm like, well, "What's wrong with season 2 and 3 and 4?" And you will know when you get there. I'm like, "Okay."
It's a cheerleader season.
I think I made it through half of season 2, and then I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Parts of season 2 are okay, but it's like that writer. Once they never recovered from the writer's strike, they never got back on track.
Here's something I agree with. I know shows love holding on to actors, but yet sometimes for quality it is important to get rid of a character once they're done.
Yeah.
I always say this because obviously when for these shows when you're one of the principal characters, you sign on for 5 or 6 years at least. But I think it would be great at least if they try to do something different with her. Again, that isn't too forced. Again, we don't need any more love interest for the foreseeable future. But again, do something like Red Alice or Crime Bible, or again, we also don't know how many episodes they're gonna have next season. So there's that. I mean, we don't even know how many episodes any of these shows are gonna have next season because we're surviving one pandemic, but now there's all these variants. Not the Loki variant, sadly, yeah, I would say that it's not as easy to just get rid of an actor just like that. But I would say at least try your best to find something new for them to do. I don't need to see her if they did something as random as, let's say, she's like, I'm gonna run Arkham Asylum. Then that would be random and pointless and useless.
Yes.
The story they should have done, and they're not going to do it because obviously I got Jacob in coming back, but they should have had a story where Alice goes to Metropolis to break her daddy out of jail. I'd be here for that.
That would be funny.
I would be here for that, honestly.
I'm just bummed for Douglas Scott that he didn't at least get a farewell scene or something like that. At least a scene between Wallace and.
If they was going to write him off like that, come on, at least make it a thing, not just announce afterwards.
Plus, I really wish she got to have a moment with Kate with her memories back. Come on.
No, but we need more Ocean.
No,
Like,
we didn't.
no, we needed more in that stupid train. We needed more ocean.
Stupid
Like, we just,
abandoned train.
like,
Also, the Jersey Luck comment, like Kate left her alone because Beth needs to be on her own. It's like, yeah, but she triggered Beth for like a hot second, and that like a really like a brief glimpse, and even she's not going to be able to connect to Beth while she's locked up next to Black Mask. Like, we're not going to get that. She's not going to get a proper therapist that's going to help her actually figure out things and process any of the trauma she's had throughout her life, let alone the love drama. Like, generally speaking, Alice's life is just filled with trauma. She's not going to get proper therapy in Arkham.
Could probably. Oh, never mind.
So in plots we're not going to get, we think
Yeah.
about the Riddler coming back and being like, I have to get revenge on Alice for killing my daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually
It's
did
not
not
bad.
see them. I did not see them making them related at all. Like, I was like, oh, that's probably not something they can do on the show. But like, obviously they're breaking through those DC barriers this year because like
They are.
we're getting like what was her call? Caroline Bryan said so many things. Good. Yo, CC, listen, good for you to talk a lot. It's very good. We like information, but it was just a lot to digest. I bet she's not watching. It would be funny if like this is the one time she's watching and she's like, who is this fool and why is he on? And she said that we were getting both new people in those roles, but also like the original villain. So like, what does that mean?
It means they have the rights to some, but they can't tell us who yet. They got the okay, but we don't know who.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about who.
Batman rights are so convoluted.
You know, especially with like the Batman coming out and just like with Birds of Prey, it's like I feel bad because they have to be stuck in a weird spot of like, hey, can we use this one? No. Okay, can we use this one? No. Can we get Sophia? Yes, but only for these episodes. It's like, but okay.
No, you know what they you know what they did when they say, "Can I Sophia? Who? Sure."
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, you can use Roman Sionis because he's such an interesting person to be in 2 DC properties.
Yeah.
Could I interest you in the Clock King? Like,
Yeah.
no, you cannot.
We all did the Clock King.
How about the Condiment King? Does that tickle your fancy?
Oh my! Can you get off your horse with that one? Like you mentioned, Condiment King like 4 times this year. I'm
Hey,
like,
man, Condiment King needs his respect.
Dude.
no, you know what? When his name stops sounding like Condom King, then maybe I won't give him some respect.
That's a valid point.
No, but the one character I hope stays the same. I can buy the idea of a new Mad Hatter or a new Penguin. I don't know if I want a different Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
I want it, but I don't want it because I love the Harley one so much.
I just don't trust them with Poison Ivy either. Like they're already failing at the lesbian intimacy test. So like, do we really need more of this and then more reasons to be disappointed when they don't give us romance or anything?
It's also like we won't get the ego terrorist Ivy that we deserve.
Yeah.
What?
I mean,
Like the vibe. I'm just gonna say real quick, Andy, because the ladies talked about it earlier. The vibe I got, and it's probably completely way off base, is that Ivy's related to Ryan. Now, I'm not saying that that's her mother or what, but like that's the vibe I kind of got, and it would explain away the plant doohickey, yeah. But like I don't trust them to be able to tell that story though, because there's a lot of moving parts. If you try to make Poison Ivy Ryan's mother, you think the world is ready for a black Poison Ivy?
I was gonna say we're going black Poison Ivy. That would
Look what happened. Like poor Javisha Leslie this week went after while it was announced that again, y'all fools, listen. They never said she's never coming back. They're just saying that her story is done for now. Also, can you more or less give me a reason how this has anything to do with Javisha? She does not write the show. Also, she's the legit star of the Batwoman. So exactly, yeah. It's not her fault that Ruby Rose decided to be like, I want to be on a TV show. Oh, I actually have to work? Oh no.
Somehow that went down.
This vaccine,
was that shade?
this vaccine, y'all, like it's like maybe becoming like a truth serum for me. So, like, ask all the things you always everyone to ask me, and I will do my best. Because I've been way too honest today
I would like to know exactly how Ruby Rose no longer being on the show went down, because I did hear from at least one person that she got fired, and if that happened, I want to know exactly how that happened.
Somebody spilled the tea.
Please.
So yes, Caroline Drives is bad at interviews.
She is bad at interviews, yes. She is.
I mean, I've seen other showrunners do far worse. I think she gave away a lot more this time than maybe last year. Because last year I was just like confused, but I think again probably COVID. Calendar Man would be a cool villain. Yeah, they're doing.
I'm
Are
totally
they-
down for Varys as Calendar Man. That would be a good fit, I think.
I agree that Rachel Scarston carries the show, and she did definitely for the first season, and that's why I think it would have been great if they just turned around and had her play Kate and Alice.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I still don't know how that would have worked though.
they would have done it.
wouldn't.
They could have figured it
It
out.
would've
Like,
been
like the Parent Trap, where you got two
Yeah.
Lindsay Lohans.
Exactly.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
You just made the stunt double like
that's exactly what the Errors needs. Based on some mediocre Lindsay
Mediocre, how
Lohan.
dare you, sir? The Parent Trap is an American classic.
yes.
Mean Girls is way better. That is saying something. I hate Mean Girls.
Oh wow, you're not making any fans tonight, Andy B.
Listen, I am the I am the
That
most-
Pfizer will be your downfall, my friend.
Listen, I am the most hated person. I am the one and only most hated person on this network. It's fine.
Every good show needs a villain.
You're right all along, Mr. Kent. I am the villain of the story. Rachel, really? Nothing? No Smallville love whatsoever? Wow.
Sorry.
Zero.
I got distracted by the chat.
Yeah. Wow. Y'all, we got thank everyone for tuning in tonight for all the engagement. That's
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let's what else have you all not talked about yet?
I was looking through my list. We talked about the Purge. We talked about the masks. We talked about Reverse. We talked about
Talked about
Fate.
Sophie.
Let me say
After all.
something real quick on Luke, because that to me was like, and I think you said it, Rach. Like was the best part of the episode.
Yeah.
It certainly was for me, regardless of the path that they took to get to Batwing. Like I thought, just seeing Cameron in that suit, man. Like I thought that was really cool, and just like it almost frustrates me because we spent so much time focusing on Kate this season, particularly the early part of the season, and I feel like there's so many stories with Ryan and with Luke and with Mary that we didn't get to because we had to figure out what the hell we were going to do with Kate Kane.
Yeah.
And I get that you need to establish something, why there's a new Batwoman, but I felt like they just drug it out way too long. And so, like, my favorite moments this season have been like Ryan and Luke, just their interactions. And so I'm glad that now, like, she's got a sidekick, and I'm sure Luke's gonna want to say he's her partner, but he's the sidekick. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing the two of them like kicking butt together. Like, I think that'll be really cool, and for representation's sake, I think that's just a dope visual of these two black people in bat gear that are out here fighting.
Yes, that will be very cool. I would appreciate that for sure.
No, I can only imagine how much. I mean, I don't know how kid friendly the show is to a young audience, but like I was saying something when I was an emotional mess on Monday night, Sunday night, tweeting to cameras like crazy. I said, I can only imagine how happy so many young black men and women must be of seeing this, because I think Luke Fox has always been a very underrated character since he was invented, and like I feel like now like they're actually taking more. Even though I know they're right now doing Jade Fox as Batman and so on, like there's still this huge fandom for Luke that think that he should have been Batman, and the fact that he now gets to be Batman in live action is great. The suit looks phenomenal. Was hoping for like actual Batwing like in the comics, but maybe that's something we get next season.
Luke is gonna tinker with the suit and make some alterations.
Yes.
They better. I just, for me, am trying to think this entire time that suit was in that archive.
Just sitting there.
No one know. I'm just like, Bruce, how dumb must you be? If it be like, this suit, it kind of looks very practical, more protective than my tights. Also, was hoping for some. I was hoping for a Warren Christie appearance.
Yeah.
I just want more of him, and I also want to see him with Tyler from Tyler Hoechlin, because I'm like that's a good looking but also interesting pair for the world's finest.
Yes, that is. Yeah. Someone pointed out we have not done Twitter feedback. You can do
That's
that.
because Nate and we came in and ruined the show.
That's mysterious.
I would not say that that is what happened. But.
Not about Nate though.
I was gonna say you're half right.
Yeah.
I love you, Andy.
Thank you for the comment about Shaggy from the Scooby-Doo movie.
Right.
And the photo option. Thank you.
That was quality. Yeah, no, we have John Wickman said, was Ryan really the main character of this season? I mean, that was season 1, was all about Kate in a way this season wasn't about Ryan. No.
Yeah.
One could argue that Alice was the one person who drove the plots of the season. Yeah, that's valid.
Yep.
He said, it was a very rushed episode, but I thought it was fine. It was a weird choice to make Black Mask's plan to do a purge, and I wish they had the courage to do a teen Batwoman. I am not a fan of the Sophie-Ryan relationship they have building up. And one creative name says, I loved all the fight scenes in this episode, though Black Mask was defeated way too easily. Batwing was so exciting, but I'm sad he's only showed up for 5 seconds. We just got Kate back and she's immediately leaving without even saying goodbye to Alice. I wish they didn't write her off.
They can have kind of a good reason, though. She felt like until she's ready to become Beth, there's nothing else I can do.
But I feel like they spent the whole season building to her being ready to be Beth, and now they're just like, actually, she's still evil. Like,
but maybe that's why she becomes Red Alice, by honoring it. Okay, you know what? Like, maybe she's like, you know what? At this point, I identify as Alice, but let me at least try and be a better Alice than I was before as regular Alice.
Yeah. I feel like I'm very confused by where they're going with her, but I hope they actually take her.
I hope they have a plan. Yeah, that would be nice.
Like, even in this episode, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the aim was by the writers, because I get it. Like, we get that this is this chaotic character, but by this point in the season, like the last episode, like, you know what your audience feels about the character. Yeah. And so I think something like, the line about Ryan killing her birth mother, like that felt like so weird and out of place, even for Alice.
That was weird.
Yeah,
it was very weird.
Well, Nate, okay, so like I guess I don't know why that's a secret. Nate and I, we were watching the finale together, and the moment when it happened, I'm like, Nate, please tell me this is not happening, and like we both started laughing, and then the slap happened. I'm like, good.
Yes.
It just felt so like out of place and so like unneededly nasty. Yes. And I mean, I guess they were trying to like set it up for later and be like, oh well, yeah, I did research about your birth mother, but it just felt very out of place.
Yeah.
Also, how did she find the right information about Ryan's mom and like?
Yeah.
I was wondering that too. Like, how are they going to work that in? I'm afraid.
Oh, now we need a flashback of Alice in the Gotham Library with some microfiche and
well, like, what's so funny?
A stack of newspapers.
Whenever she's reading or when she's like touching things, sorry, when she's just using her hand, this is not getting any better. She's always like kind of dancing with her movements, like with her fingers, like like kind of going through. I started right after season, I started re-binging season 2 because I'm like, I kind of want to see the whole story now, and I swear to God, this woman has this thing of like just like just touching things. Again, still triggered over that when she sneezed into the napkin and put it back, and when she licked the pepper, and I'm like, go ahead.
That's how you know she's not in her right mind, Andy.
So weird. So weird.
But you know the funny thing is, even the licking of the vegetable thing, that was apparently like an outtake, and they used It was like this woman would not survive a pandemic. If Alice was told like, "Hey, put on the mask," she's like, "Hee hee hee, I won't."
No,
It's
she
just
have
Rachel
the bunny
Stetson.
mask. It's fun.
And that's what, honestly, like, they could have made so many good jokes. They just like embraced the mask thing this season. That would have been, they could have had so much potential for jokes. Just been like, I got my mask.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the joke. I mean, I think the best joke was the fact that they used a villain named Black Mask.
Yeah, right.
Who went out in the most chumpy way possible.
Oh no!
Ah,
The mask
you
is
put
stuck to
my
my
mask
face.
on my face. Oh no!
I am kind of bitter because last episode I thought Sophia, or when Cersei was saying how like Sophia was saying how like she got Cersei something she wanted. It was like that offhanded throwaway line when she was talking with Alice on the beach. My brain was like, oh, she killed Black Mask, yay! I was like pumped. I thought Sophia did it, and then was greatly disappointed when it was like, ah man, he's still alive.
Can we also agree that Sophia was like their way of being like, you know what? We effed up Rachel Ghul, so let's just redo him, but
Yep.
with Sophia. Like she's a way better Rage, and I'm like, I don't think she's fully dead. I'm like, you don't,
No, she's
you don't.
just in her. She's knocked out
Suspended
dagger.
animation.
But
Yeah.
also, I
Yeah.
don't feel like they did any better with her character if they were trying to like do well on that storyline. I don't think they succeeded.
But once they're both vaccinated, maybe they can find like she will come back and be like, Alice, my love. Like I can't do the accent. And then they finally kiss.
Yeah.
That would be
At this point, anything. Can happen.
Maybe in prison, Alice will, reflect on things and realize Sophia really saved her from a lifetime of unhappiness with Ocean.
Yeah.
Undyingly grateful to Sophia.
Like, why have an ocean when you can have a whole sea? Did that make any sense?
Not really.
Oh, wow.
It was a valid effort. Valid effort.
Have an ocean where you can have an island that's been burned to a crisp.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh. What other comments do we have?
There's some symbolism there though, because the way I heard it was she stuffed Sophia in like an old car.
Yeah.
That's the way I heard it. And Ocean wanted to buy a camper. So like there's something Kate had a motorcycle. There's something with these vehicles and Alice, it's underneath Mimi, you can't see it. It's underneath the surface. This is a deeper story being told here.
It's deep.
Right. It's much deeper than we all imagine.
Yes, deeper than the ocean.
We do have a few more comments. Brian Shufo said, season 3 wish list. Mary gets her own bat costume and calls herself Bat Doctor and goes around helping people before they have to turn to a life of crime. Valid.
I like
That,
it.
that honestly sounds like the critique of Bruce Wayne, like, running around and beating people up and not like addressing the actual ills of Gotham with all his money.
Mm-hmm.
No, he has to use his money to pay for his batarangs and costumes and Robin costumes because one keeps dying every X amount of years.
I think that's more for Bruce than for the city.
Yeah.
No, totally in favor for the city. The city needs 17 orphan boys.
Yeah. Sure. Jose Rios said, I liked the episode, but it felt rushed. They needed to end a few storylines, but it was good. A lot to look forward to hopefully season 3 is able to focus on Ryan while bringing in an influx of heroes like all the other shows Arrowverse do in season 3. 8.8 out of 10.
Oh, high marks.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
I actually I do enjoy it. I mean, I know you guys were kind of whatever about the finale. I actually really did enjoy the season finale.
I mean, good. I'm glad. I am.
Yeah.
I am. If people enjoy the shows, like I'm genuinely glad, even if I don't. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't necessarily dislike the episode. I just didn't feel like a finale to me. Like Luke and the Batwoman versus Batwoman scene were like the only two things that felt season finale level to me.
Yeah. If it was just like another episode, I probably would not have felt very strong about not liking it.
Yeah.
Well, if it's true that they were supposed to have 19 episodes, and that's not been confirmed. I know some websites ran with that, but if it was true that they had 19 episodes originally,
Yeah. that might
maybe
be it.
that's why. Again, this season I give the Arrowverse a lot of leeway because I'm like, this has not been easy for any of them.
No, true.
I mean, one of us should be giving them leeway. I'm not, but
We're just very harsh critics here.
yeah,
We are,
yeah.
but I mean,
It still has potential, and like you were saying, season 3 could be really good. Like season 3 tends to be like that, like nice golden mark, or like the start of where a lot of the Arrowverse shows will really hit their stride, because they will have gone through their season 1 stumbles, figured out and not figured out certain stuff in their second seasons, and their third seasons they usually like start to hit their groove.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I do have hope that like this can be like a really good season, because there were so many good moments that they set up throughout this season, and then I think it just, because we had a couple really strong episodes in a row, it just felt like a weird spot to end it at.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that's so interesting with the Arrowverse is that season 3 is usually their curse. Like they're either like, I mean, listen, all of these shows have like, you know, Arrow, Flash, Supergirl really fumble in season 3. Legends is Legends. It's like it doesn't really have a bar it needs to hit necessarily, but it was fun. Batwoman is gonna have, you know, basically I feel this is their season 1 now, because Ryan is now the lead. If that makes sense.
Oh, so what you're saying, Andy, is the last 2 years have really been like a prequel. We've been watching Batwoman Begins.
Yeah, they did Batwoman season 1, which actually they're season 0. They're like, you know what? For once, that DC podcast network came up with good ideas. We're just going to use Batwoman season 1 as a prequel season.
Exactly. That's how
I do think next season should be fun, because they'll be free or freer, you know, to do more stuff with Ryan and Mary and Luke without the baggage of the Kate situation. But I do think, getting back to the finale, like I wouldn't go as high as an 8.8. There were parts of it that I really liked, but it did feel rushed. Like, and there wasn't, and maybe this speaks to what Mimi was just saying, like there were emotional beats that I needed as a viewer that I didn't get, like between Alice and Kate, like between Jacob and any of his daughters. Like they're emotional. Like I needed Luke to satisfyingly beat Tavroff, and we didn't get that. And so like I think
he got a punch.
Yes, he got a punch, and he got the girl. So I guess that's a win-win. But I feel like there could have been more conclusion on those fronts. But overall, given the circumstances of the real world, I'm not mad at them. It's like your parents used to say, like, I'm not mad at you, I'm just disappointed.
Don't bring me up that sentence.
I mean, I hope they let themselves have fun next season. That would be my biggest hope.
Well,
Sorry, season 2, for like what it was, with, like you said, they had the Kate baggage to deal with. They lost their lead. There's been COVID. Like, it wasn't a bad season, even with all of that. So, like, now that they would be freer, like Nate said, I think that they will do a lot better.
Yeah. I genuinely enjoyed Ryan's story building up over the season. Yeah. I think they did a good job with it.
I think what's so good is that, I mean, the fact that we're even going to have a Penguin or a Poison Ivy or a Mad Hatter next season, that kind of eludes the idea, we're going to have some more fun next season. Because, you know, listen, I know that this is like, you know, Batman is our most darkest property of all time. You fools. You have a man dressed up as a bat. You have people calling him Mr. Freeze, Clayface, the Joker, the Riddler.
Like, Batman is meant to be campy. It is.
Yeah. Sorry.
It looks like you were holding a knife, by the way. I mean, I'm like, no, go ahead.
I have pens. We have lots of pens on this desk.
No, it's good. Pencils are good, very good. No, but like the fact, one of my favorite. I think you guys touched upon it before, when Nate and I were backstage. The Stephanie Brown episode is one of my favorite episodes of the season, because Clue Master was legit fun.
Yes, it was very fun, and it was like the right amount of campy.
Yes, there's a balance that I don't know if the show's figured out yet.
And that's, I think people are so afraid of these days. I think like people who work on some of these shows say, well, camping is gonna be cheesy. Well, you don't have to by doing camping, you don't have to do Batman and Robin or Batman Forever.
There's a lot of ways you could do it.
Exactly. Like, you know, like I think again, Clue Master was a really good idea suggestion for them in terms of how to do it. Not every episode, but again, if you're gonna have someone like Poison Ivy and Mad Hatter and Penguin, I think there's some leeway there.
Right. And I mean, if you're gonna have those heavy plots, like, you know, at least offset them by, like, you know, some amusing episodes every so often. Like, I wish there was more than like 1 or 2 of those episodes a season, basically.
Yeah.
I do have to shout out quickly the Chaz Legends feels like it's show run by a guy who thinks he's funny but ain't, like the class clown in high school. I just need to say that man is named Phil Plummer, and don't like him. He's a bad man, and I'm going to leave it at that.
What? So sweet of me.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you off air.
All right.
I just had a thought.
Okay. Here's
I
something.
Sorry, go.
There's an Elizabeth Kane and a Mary Elizabeth Kane in the comics. That is confusing.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I remember when Rachel and I were, when we were in the midst of Batwoman season, Batwoman podcast season 0, we were going back and forth like, so what do you think about this Nicole Kang character? I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, they use like comic art of her in the article. Like, are you? I don't know if she's supposed to be an original character. Like, so like Rachel and I, we were starting like Googling, like that wasn't an intense 30 minutes because we were both like, but her first name is Mary Elizabeth Beth Kane. I'm like, but isn't Alice's real name Beth? No, it is Beth.
Yes. No, I remember that conversation, and we were both like at the same time. We were like, "Oh well, there's just going to be Flamebird," and then like proceeded to list 2 completely different reasons for why we thought that.
Now, what were our reasons again? I don't remember.
I think mine was something about the middle name. I don't remember what yours was.
I think mine was that. Oh well, no, you know what? I remember. I haven't lost all my memories yet. As if I'm about to. When Nicole was doing Instagram stories, deleting, you know, like when after she got cast, she was reading a lot of Batwoman comics that Flamebird was in, and also I just feel like. Because I remember when the casting calls were going, I'm like, this sounds exactly like Beth Kane, like, you know, the cousin who was like, you know, enthusiastic. Like, this is her. Like, whether they want to deny it or not, like this is her.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
We did have one more comment. It was Mark who had joined us earlier, but I had to go. He said, "Hey, sorry I didn't write sooner, but it's been way too hot here this week. I enjoyed the episode. I'm sad Kate is leaving. They brought in Wallace Day for 6 episodes. Yeah, valid. And with Jacob gone, I'm wondering who will pay for Mary to never be going to medical school." I mean, is she still supposed to be in school at this point? She's never, ever been in class.
Yeah, I don't know. Online classes, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe.
I liked. Ooh, I think this happened at the end, and I didn't imagine it. They're talking about the clinic being like with the community center, and it
Yes.
all like
Yes.
Okay, good. I didn't imagine it. I was like, I like that.
I want
like
more of
the
that.
go.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I think Alice should go for therapy at the clinic, and she can have shenanigans. It'll be really awesome.
Yeah, like she breaks out to be like, wait, this is where I get therapy now. And you're like, but you're an Arkham, you have a therapist. It's like, nah.
I don't know if there's ever been a good therapist at Arkham other than like Harley Quinn before she went crazy.
Yeah.
Remember when she almost went to a therapist with Enigma and then she died?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Sometimes people just need to die.
Yeah.
Tragic.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was a one time where I'm like, Ocean, you suck.
That was the worst. Oh,
Ocean's another
One
character
time
with
you
just
thought Ocean sucked.
like Ocean's motivations, like the ebb and flow of what Ocean did. Like it just like Amanda, sometimes he was at high tide, sometimes he was at low tide. Like you never knew what this man was gonna do. Like I think that's why I hated Ocean most of all. Is just that his motivations never really made any sense.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. He starts out as such a, like, oh, you know, reconnect with your sister, like, caring for Alice, like, in the very beginning with the flashbacks, and by the end, he's just like, I'm toxic, leave your sister.
Yes,
Like, what?
That was just out of nowhere. Just like, oh, no, you're better off with her without your sister.
Yeah.
Like, sir?
Who are you? Go away.
Just you throwing this tidal wave of emotions at me, Ocean.
Oh.
I can't deal with it. It's like a tsunami. It just
Talk about being, you know, the king of the 7 idiots. Was those all the tweets? Or should we do some quick questions or thoughts?
I think that was all the tweets.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we have? Again, you guys are amazing for tuning in tonight. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Wait, is this what is this? They're doing the Flash podcast, and that show has been bad this year. I don't understand what this is. I just know that my podcast was brought up. I'm like, listen, if anyone attacks my podcast, it better be against me and not the girls because I protect them. Let's see. There's a character name in the Batman comics called Bloody Mary. They could play Fast and Furious with Mary. No thanks. Because I mean, if she's gonna like,
don't want that.
That doesn't sound like Mary.
New Rachel says, I still think Kate should have gone to the future or to Themyscira.
Yes.
But how? But
dude,
I
remember when Oliver Queen first said Bruce Wayne and everyone flipped out.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I'm the original vigilante. Let's see.
Spot on Stephen Amell.
Yeah, I mean, at least
we have not received any memes. I don't know if anyone is going to send us any memes.
I mean, that wasn't. I mean, I think that was a good impression of Stephen Amell. I
thought he was sitting right next to me.
At the airport.
Like he's still here.
Stephen. Sipping on some knocking point wine.
Yeah, maybe bring a bottle next time to the airport. I thought Ocean was a plan by some bad guy covering up something when he off rhyme. Oh, that would have?
That would have been a way more thought out storyline.
Oh,
What we
this
got.
is the equivalent of the Mon skill. Wait a minute. Okay, wait. Everyone here listen. Yeah. Okay.
Classic.
Amanda, I think you may not know what is.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
So on Supergirl Radio, they sadly had to live with a character named Mon-El for 2 seasons, and so at some point something called a Mon skull came up, where it was Mon negative or Mon positive or Mon apathetic.
That's fantastic.
It's just so funny because she's the newbie to this season. Somebody's like, oh, she doesn't know some of these crazy jokes that we have. Some of these podcasts are like, yeah, Mon, yeah. So this would be
hot take though, Andy. Hot take. I think I might like Ocean more than Mon-El.
That's fair.
Because Ocean at least knew when to leave, Rachel. Like Ocean at least, like I'm gonna be here for 7 episodes and then I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna come back.
We won't be seeing Riddler either, I don't think. He's gonna be in the Batman movie.
Oh yeah, right. They have a lot.
I think everyone is in the Batman movie at this point.
Yeah, Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman. Yeah.
I would say no. I probably shouldn't say anything. Never mind. Let's.
Dropping clues.
No, I was gonna say.
The only meme I did was the Black Mask at the desk one.
Thank you for that.
Oh my lord! That when that photo came out, I'm like, this is such a meme because I just feel like this is me every time I don't get what I want, and I just have to sit in a room by myself.
My cat wants to say hi. She doesn't.
Well, hello, Nick Zano.
No.
Wow, this
she does not want to say hi.
No,
Stephen Amell and Nick Zano in the same night.
Yeah,
right.
All the stars.
Oh, hi.
See?
Wait, hold on. Let's.
Oh,
Hi. I like this. I like this. I like this Nick Zano more than.
She's a good girl.
One.
She's a good girl.
Very cool.
My cat is sitting here, like sweating and hot, even though the AC is in the other room, and I'm like, I don't understand why you're doing this, but okay.
The real Nick Zano knows about her existence, and he agreed to be her godfather. Just.
You need to bring her to a con at some point and be like, "Hey."
Honestly, I've thought about it, and I've been like,
that jump.
That was amazing. It's like a stunt.
Let's
I
see.
need to get away from here now.
Even Tim Drake is in. The actor who plays Tim Drake on Titus in the movie. He is not playing Tim Drake though.
I was going to say, the Riddler, though, there strikes me as one of the villains that's like too centrally like Batman to have gone for another property. That's like I wouldn't have expected him to be on the Arrow either, even though they pulled in a lot of like.
I could see them getting away with an episode or two. Again, I feel I'm saying way too much, and I should be. So let's keep going. You know what they say about power, huh? Who said that? No, I actually don't know who was that. Was that Black Mask?
It sounds like something stupid he would say.
He
it
would.
didn't really register, so it couldn't have been that good.
Let's see. I feel there's 4 or 5 Batman shows on right now. Well, they're doing another cartoon for HBO Max, which will be from Matt Reeves actually. There was 8 seasons of Arrow, and there's Batwoman. There is Titans that has like way too many Batman characters. So
Is Pennyworth
yeah.
still a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing it's actually really good. Not gonna make a podcast about it though, but I'm hearing it's really good.
Yeah, I've heard
They they played the first. They played the pilot at SDCC in 2019.
Oh my god!
Right?
Wait, Rachel, can we tell the story? Do you remember the embarrassing thing about Pennyworth was, right?
No.
That
Please tell me now.
more people were praising the Pennyworth pilot over Batwoman.
Yes. Okay. Now I remember
Wow.
that.
I remember that.
okay.
That
And
was
then, like-
yeah. That was the
That's-
first time I saw the Batwoman pilot, and I saw it twice more before it premiered.
I remember some of us from the now where we went to a bar that night and we recorded something for Quiver's Patreon thingy or whatever where we all like talked about it. Of course, we couldn't give any spoilers because I'm like, we should not do that. Pennyworth is good and it's getting a further season. Yes, it might be moving to HBO Max. So,
Probably.
Okay.
You know,
That's
for
like-
like a hot second, there was an idea that there was going to be an HBO Max show of Brandon as Superman in Crisis,
Ooh,
and that had so much potential, and it was just like gone as soon as it was.
I'd be
meant
down
to
for
be.
that.
I was like,
no comment. Let's see.
you don't understand. Brandon Routh is Clark Kent. Okay, like if you just-
That's
is.
not what I was saying. No comment to, but we can talk. Let's see. Batman Telltale also used Luke's sister. He has a
Yeah, he does.
sister.
Yeah, he has a sister.
Yes.
Who's the sister?
I remember that was a theory we were hoping Ryan was gonna potentially be before they were like, surprise.
Wait, hold on. Now I need to Google Luke Fox's sister.
not
Yes,
like-
he does have a sister.
Lucy.
Did my
can't-
Google
Not Lucy, right?
really just autocorrect it saying, "Did you mean sister?" Oh my god!
Tiffany Fox, thank you.
Tiffany
Thank you.
Fox.
Yes.
That's better. If it was Lucy, I was going to be like, they really need to get more creative.
Let's see. For reasons, is there going to be a new DC Underdog anytime soon? Well, I think that's a question you should tweet at Mojotastic and at Foley Matt Sarah and ask them.
That's a good question for them. Yes.
I may produce all these podcasts, but I have no idea when things are recording. So like, when people are like, "Hey, there's a new episode," I'm like, "Cool."
Yes, well,
Cool.
I was on the episode of DC TV After Dark, and it was very fun. So if you've not listened to that, I suggest go doing so because it was a great time.
It's a great podcast. Like, just
It
all
was.
just.
It's so much fun. I loved it. It was really good.
I thought it was just epic how we announced it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Like we had 20 plus people on the Skype call. Look, Lord, that was exhausting, and like nobody knew. And like I'm like, oh, so there's a reason Sarah is here.
That was hilarious because it took 30 minutes for everybody to introduce themselves, and Sarah's sitting there the whole time like,
Well, don't blame me because I like you children that just kept talking. I'm just wondering about the whereabouts of Julia Pennyworth. She's somewhere in the world with her mind wiped.
Yeah, she's in like Berlin or Denmark.
Berlin. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Julia was brainwashed and was going off to Denmark.
Oh, Denmark. Okay.
Denmark, Berlin. Same thing.
Could you imagine?
She's traveling around the world.
Could you imagine that?
Like Carmen.
I'm gonna brainwash her. Ha ha ha! I'm gonna send her to Europe. What a punishment!
Right.
I will
Yeah.
send you to Europe.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe Ultra. Maybe good thing. No, actually, you know what? No, he could have just let her live for 6 more seconds. She could have just said Kate trigger word and then just off
Thank
her.
It made
Let's
everyone's
see.
life a lot easier.
Yeah.
I'm just so we're not gonna have to see that train set anymore.
Thank
We're not gonna have to see.
God.
Thankfully.
Let's see.
they'll
what
find a
else?
way to reuse it, man. You just don't throw away a quality set like that.
Who needs a hotel room when you can have an abandoned train?
Gives a whole new meaning to Bat of the Future. Oh, I think that's a comment to OG and New Rachel's comment about going to the future of Themyscira.
Oh yes.
We'll see. Here's the thing. What happens down to like is Ryan the new paragon of courage?
I don't know.
If
I
I
mean,
never
I
got
think
to
that's-
remembering that was a thing they did.
Assuming that
Maybe.
they're ever going to bring that up again, which I feel like
Yes.
They
they're not.
probably won't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel only Flash so far is the one has been bringing up crisis stuff, and so I'm like, I mean, good because very. I mean, that.
I mean, yeah, they were the main trigger for Crisis.
I think Black Lightning made a mention of it this season, but like, yeah, I feel like all of that. That's the depressing part about it, ladies. Like all of that hard work feels like it was kind of for naught at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Black Lightning.
Yeah.
Oh, and we didn't even get a Batwoman Black Lightning crossover.
I know.
That's
Yes.
so sad.
I'm so mad.
That's what I think season. Like, I would love if Batwoman season 3 kind of became like Batwoman and the Outsiders.
That would
I mean,
be good.
there was Batman and the Outsiders.
Yes, there was.
And also, like, season 3 of Young Justice is Outsiders, so clearly season 3
Yeah.
is the right part here.
Yeah.
I mean, we keep giving them all these ideas.
Honestly, if they were just listening to us, the show would be so much better.
Yeah, honestly.
It's like, I feel like ours are just aren't. I mean, from a production standpoint, maybe it's a headache, but it's like, again, is it really that difficult to like even just mention each other? Like, you know, again, I mean, Black Lightning kept mentioning Gotham a lot.
Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
And Diggle showed up, and then he was on Legends,
Yes.
not Diggle.
Can we
Like
talk
Diggle's
about
just getting around, like just diggling it up.
That was-
tickling it? Well, he's coming to my show next week, so that will be
Yeah.
I
interesting.
recorded with the Legends ladies on Monday night. I don't think it's come out yet, but we were just
No, it's because I am uploading it tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I was like promoting this, so I was hoping it came out beforehand. But
I'm-
that's okay. You just appreciate it in perpetuity.
Well, again, I didn't realize because I didn't realize I was gonna get that email, but I have no problem getting it up, but I had no idea that there was a point of like, hey, we're doing a live show.
It's okay.
Although I will say this when we recorded Flash, like I did call you guys out, and the episode is already out. So
Okay, thank you. No, I was gonna say was when David Ramsey like read the script that he was like directing, he was like, "Oh, I'm playing this character." Like that's what's happening. That is
let's see.
the only explanation I will accept.
Is that a call at Superman and Lois, Andy? Call out for what?
What did you do, Andy?
Yeah,
Not
I don't know.
mentioning other people because that's something I've seen.
He did mention the Hall of Justice. Yes, Nate.
Wait, what did I call? I didn't say anything bad. I like Superman and Lois.
No, I think let me comment explain it to you, Andy.
Oh, wow.
I think it's a reference to Superman and Lois, which has been great these last few episodes. Like all this about Kryptonian family, and nobody mentioned cousin Kara.
Oh, let's talk about that. Kate is so gay for Kara that she made time to mention her in this final episode, but
Yes, I have a friend in National City. Yep.
we can't keep a picture of her in the pilot.
Who was that voice? Was that
that-
WB executive, CW executive?
We don't need to get into that. Justice League already lost Black Lightning, Mia Queen, and now Kate. Well, Mia Queen was never part of Justice League, and thank God she wasn't. There you go. National City keeps coming up. Hope they do something before Super Bowl ends. Again, can we just have Kara's grandmother and Kara meet up?
I'm in a Legends discussion group on Facebook. It's terrible. And people are like, "Do you think they're going to bring Mia Queen to Legends to take up the plot holes?" And I'm like, "No, no, they're not."
How this works?
Like, you really think they care about the plot holes? You really think they care?
See, I don't agree with this, Daryl. And thank you for commenting. But what is meaning that the Crisis crossover turn out? All of us should just stayed alive. No, because then there would be no stakes, and also go to hell, Oliver. But also, you know what? Crisis did what it needed to. They rebooted the timeline and the continuity. They can do more things, and they killed Oliver. Yeah. Again, there's a clip of me somewhere, not on the internet, but somewhere on my Dropbox, and I've shown to some people on this network, where I legit recorded myself from night one. When Oliver does die in part 1 of Crisis, I just cackle. I knew he was getting killed off. Like I'd known him for months, but even just like seeing like he died in part 1.
That was really funny,
Delicious.
honestly. It was really funny.
Was
I'm
They
gonna
did not
fight
mean it to be
these.
funny, but it was really
Gonna fight these spirits with just my hands and a piece of wood. Like, okay, like that's your plan.
Let's see.
Yes, sorry. So on.
No, go on. It's your show. Like
I like the comment underneath. If anyone should show up, it should have been Laurel and Quentin since Sarah's getting married. Yes, bring
Right.
them back. Yes.
right.
Okay,
Quentin is dead, but they can bring him back.
Yeah.
Quentin is so good.
Yeah.
It's a good dad.
Yeah.
He was like
Paul
Jacob
Blackman
Kane
is the
done
best actor
correctly.
now.
Everything Jacob Kane wished he was.
Truly.
Oh, maybe that's where Jacob's going. Tying it back to one of your earlier episodes, the best idea that 3 of you ever had was Sad Dad Park as a spinoff
Thank
for
you.
Batwoman. So maybe that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get the spinoff, but instead of a park, it's a prison, and we just got
Yes.
Jacob and Black Mask like we were terrible fathers, and Clue Master like, yeah, I was a bad dad too.
Sad dad prison.
Sad dad pit.
I like it.
You know what they could do? They could bring back Jacob by like he gets into a car accident, and his face is all messed up. So Alan fixes that so he looks like Paul Blackburn.
Perfect. And he gets a no, he doesn't actually have an English accent there. He's like, no.
You know what's so funny is that I remember last year at the charity show when we were talking about like the whole Ryan Wilder thing and the whole face swapping thing. I remember Rachel saying, you know, I so swear to God, if they do that to Kate, I will lose my mind. And then
They
year
did.
later,
They did.
They did.
They did.
Ellen was just listening. She's like, ooh, an idea that will make her angry.
Yeah, no.
People do that.
When I realized they did that, I was like,
But you know what? We got an amazing actress in Wallace Day, and now it's like, you know what? I can actually be proud of Kate Kane.
yes.
There you go.
I also
And she
like,
does actually look like Rachel Skarsten, kind of.
Yeah.
Mm.
I like the comments talking about the unfinished plot holes in the Constantine NBC show. Yeah, I do want Manny and Constantine to duke it out. Like, come
Oh
on.
my God! You know how frustrating it is that we still don't know what happened between those two.
Which, like, a part of me is like, I understand that. Like, they have to act like it exists without acting like it exists because of just legalities, I guess, to an extent.
No, I mean, they basically. I mean, the NBC show is canon in Arrowverse.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like they're not going to bring Manny back. We're never going to see Chaz again. We're never going to see Zed. It's like all the other characters that I love from that. I understand, like, no. But,
Do you understand, though? I mean, do you understand? Or
I
do you
do.
think
The
you
box of
understand?
all 300-something Constantine comics I've been lugging around for the past 6 moves say I understand.
You need to
Matt Ryan
read
is
those
so much fun,
comics.
guys. He's really entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, as a person.
Who is it entertaining? Nate?
Matt Ryan.
I mean, yes, Nate, but also
I mean,
Matt
Nate
Ryan.
is also entertaining, but also Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
There's
Amanda
just- I have a lot of fun.
entertaining.
A lot of very
Rachel's
fun
also
stuff.
entertaining.
I wish
Legend
Legend.
with Matt Ryan.
I wish
is
Legend
cool.
would make a comment about Chaz though. I miss my Cabby boy. Sorry, I just really miss that friendship, and I'm like, I'm never gonna see that live action anytime soon.
Yeah, because NBC
like-
was like, we're gonna do comic book show, and then Canada did 1 season, and then like years later, we're gonna do Powerless. It's gonna be a big hit. Got Canada after 1 season.
Yeah.
Oh, I
No,
forgot
my
about
brain's-
Powerless.
Powerless, rip. Vanessa Hudgens.
No, I'm just thinking about like the next time we're going to see Chaz at a live action thing will most likely be in the continued like Keanu version of like a Constantine movie, and it's like, are you gonna bring Shia LaBeouf back for that? Because I don't want that either.
I'm pretty sure we're not getting a Constantine sequel.
No.
We're getting Constantine reboot on HBO Max.
I want it, but I'm scared. I mean, I
You're
do.
not
I know
get-
it's happening. It's like, but I'm still scared.
I will
I feel
comfort
like
you.
Matt Ryan is Constantine now, though. Like, he
Yeah,
has to
so
be
it's like,
that's just
that-
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then well, you know,
He can play it until he's too old to play it, which is
Yeah,
not
until
for a
he
long
says
in,
he's
time.
out.
in a couple of something, you know, there will be a new actor cast Constantine.
yeah, I understand it. It has to happen at some point, much like the plethora of Superman and Batman. But it just still, it's just like I'm so used to it now. It's like, oh, okay. And yes, in the pilot they did mention after I save Astra, I'm going to get you Nargle. I never say his name right, despite having read the comics. But that's what happens if you read things a lot, and then you go to say a word out loud, and you're like, and then it's also the word is not traditionally said. Like
Yep.
anytime there's something Latin, and I go, oh yeah, no. Yeah, that's it. I could go on those tangents forever, so I'm gonna keep that internal.
Well, ladies, do you feel it's time?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I think it
Right.
has
Right.
been 2 hours. We've been at this for a long time.
I'm moving tomorrow, so
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I have to.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I'm moving.
Oh yeah, there is a lot of.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
moving to Gotham City.
Yeah,
I
surprise.
love how you had to zoom in to just see what.
Yeah,
was
No,
thanks.
because I said
Like,
no, I did not mean to. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I did not mean.
good. I don't care. Everyone has heard me talking about moving for a while.
Hey, wait a minute. Nate has been zooming in on her all night. Why?
No,
is
it's
it bad when
fine.
I do
It's
it?
not that bad. Trust me. The rest of the house looks worse.
It's bad. It's okay.
I feel like that Jip right now. I'm like,
It's
I
a
feel
certain
so
director's
bad.
eye you got to have for the moment, Andy.
Director
you know?
might.
Yeah, it looks worse than the rest of the house. You're fine.
You have to know the right moment to
Yeah.
get the right angle.
Yeah,
The very similitude, Andy B.
Here's the thing. Even my glasses are not really helping right now, and also again, like this room has been spinning for 2 hours, so I just need to be like, I need to see better. I need to see better what was going on.
We should free Andy.
No, it's fine. I don't mind because I mean, I could. This is the thing. I'm tired, but also I can't fall asleep. The price we have to pay for this stupid vaccine. No, seriously, I'll go vaccinate yourselves, and
Or go to a doctor and have the doctor vaccinate you.
Yeah, that too.
We got a really sweet comment.
Oh, look at
I
this!
mean,
Look
I'm
at
pretty
this!
sure I'm vaccinated by like somebody in the military.
Is it Jacob?
Thanks,
Very nice.
people.
Andy, it's good. You know, the vaccination it cured common COVID side effect of homophobia. So you can
Yeah.
cure homophobia. now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, just ask Carolyn
Here's
Drivers.
more.
Carolyn Drives.
Yeah, thank-
Vaccine expert.
Oh. Well, guys, if you're loving the Batwoman Pod, you should go to Apple Podcasts and just hit them up with some amazing 5-star reviews and just show them your
That would
love.
be amazing.
Yeah,
And,
if you want to just like copy and paste these into the iTunes, that'd be cool.
That would be
yeah,
awesome.
5 stars. 5 stars is like the new 5 stars.
Batarangs or
Yes.
stars?
Sure.
5 stars. That's what it says in our blurb. 5
Yeah.
But well, I have a question. Maybe some listeners may be wondering too. What is your plans now until we come back?
That's a good question.
Recover.
We'll recover for. I mean, yeah, the PTSD oceanness.
I mean, we could
We'll
definitely
come
do
up with
some
something good.
backstories, for
Yeah,
the villains
like-
that they just unleashed those fancy things for.
Yes.
We could
Yeah, we'll have some
may not
theories.
actually end up
Yeah,
being
we'll
the show.
still, it'll be fun.
Yeah, and we'll
They'll
keep
find
you
something.
guys updated when they post more stuff on their social media because they are filming soon. So like,
This is true.
we'll find out stuff. Like, we'll talk about it when we get info.
Yes, we will.
Yeah,
And thank you for everyone being in the chat and contributing.
yeah.
Yes,
You
thank
may or may
guys.
not know, me being a chat and a podcast live is somewhat directly related to me getting a podcast. So
Yeah.
keep up the good work.
Wait, this is the podcast?
What? I have a podcast?
Is this a
What?
podcast?
Now,
I thought we were a TV
a Zoom,
show.
Zoom call.
I thought
It's
we
a
all
live Zoom
were
call.
characters in my imagination.
I mean, we
Yeah.
haven't recorded all night.
Yeah.
Now, can you all imagine if this network was a TV show? Like this would be like the weirdest showrunner gig ever.
Well, so I said to me and Amanda the other night, I was like, I think we have to be on video.
I mean,
Just warning you.
I never said you had to be on video. I said it was optional, but I think it's not because I think it's nice when listeners get to see us. Again, the only reason I'm not on camera is because y'all don't want to see my face right now after the second vaccine shot.
That's
So.
okay.
Oh,
But thank you all. You're all lovely.
yes.
I have more
Yes.
boxes to finish.
Mimi's like, need to move. Good
I
night.
need to move.
I
I
have
literally-
things to do.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. Bye.
All right. Well,
Are we doing plugs?
I guess.
Oh wait,
I
I
guess.
actually
That
I
was
thought you was
abrupt.
I was
kidding.
gonna say, that's a very abrupt ending.
right.
Lost me.
It's kind of like,
in her
it's like
defense-
the
in her
Batwoman
defense-
finale. Like, oh, it's over now.
In her defense,
No,
she
it's
did
over.
text us 20 minutes ago saying that I do need to get back to packing. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I
you
saw
know.
that. I was like,
But first of all, hey, you know what? Congrats on the second amazing season.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad.
It's my first
glad we got
amazing season.
Yeah, Emma, you were an amazing fit
Yes,
for this.
we were great to have you. Very happy.
I'm really enjoying it, so I'm excited.
May, I guess you're fine too. Whatever.
I mean, you can insult me all you want, Andy. I'll just be here reading my book.
Well, yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
You mean the one? You mean the one that I bought for you? It's a gift.
I mean, that's what friends do for each other, Andy.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Again, I'm way too honest tonight. This is not good at all. Wait, hold
Blame
on.
it on the deck scene.
Is Amanda or Wallace Day?
Yes.
I'll be
Except we're
sticking
keeping
around.
Did we did we recast anyone this season though?
Jeremy.
Because wait, Amanda, when did you come in?
I came in maybe the last episode of season 1 or something.
Yeah. I think it was the last episode of season 1.
Yeah.
So.
I don't remember anymore. I'm Pfizer in my mind. Well, Nate, how about you and I get off so they can do their plugs in peace, because otherwise we're going to be talking their ears off.
All right, Andy B. I think we should leave because thank you, ladies, and thank you, Mimi, somewhere in the ethos, in the atmosphere out there, for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Great job,
letting us crash.
Andy. You go back to Central City, Andy, and I'll go back to, I guess, Portland now. I guess.
Why would you like? What the crack would you do in Portland? That's not even where she lives.
Where Naomi is, I think. I think Naomi takes place in Portland.
No,
I can't go back to Freeland right now.
What are you talking about? She does not live in Portland.
She lives in the Pacific Northwest, I know for sure.
Hold on. She lives in Port Oswego, Oregon.
Port Oswego.
Which I imagine that's DC, Oregon.
Sounds like
That's
hipster Oregon.
Basically, Portland.
Yes.
We're not gonna. I mean, no, you're not in Portland. You're in Port Oswego, so you're not in Portland. Yeah. Okay. Let's get off.
Yes.
So they can finish. So, ladies,
good night, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Night. Thanks, Chris.
To listeners, you're amazing.
Andy, go to sleep.
You go to Portland.
Port Oswego.
Go to Portland. All right, Amanda. Well, it is just us now. So
yeah.
I guess we can do some plugs. Let me pull up the proper Google document. Do you want to do your personal plugs while I do that?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Peaks and Pages and Instagram at Charmanda. My plugs are never very long, but
it's okay. Neither am I. Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Rachel Eiley. Eiley is Eiley, in case anyone cares. And on Tumblr at Canary at Law. I rarely post on there anymore, but I do post about my life. So if you care about that, it could be interesting. All right. And for the show, you can follow Batwoman Podcast on Facebook and Twitter at Batwoman Podcast. You subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Radio, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. It says you can mention about rating and reviewing and getting 5 Bat stars. LOL.
Love us.
You can follow the entire DCTV podcast network featuring epic podcasts for, one more time, The Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, Titans, Doom Patrol, Batwoman, Stargirl, Superman and Lois, Green Lantern, Green Lightning, Strange Adventures, as well as DCTV After Dark at DCTVpodcast.com. And you can follow the network on social media at DCTV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And last but not least, subscribe to our mega feed on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play. And we have a public store. They have all sorts of DCTV/Arrowverse merchandise. So click on the link in the show notes. When you buy something in the store, you help support the podcast network. Deuces. I feel like that's the thing somebody says.
Probably somewhere.
Yeah.
Alrighty. How do we get off of this thing?
I guess we just leave.